Chapter 711. Named Descendant Celestial River, Second Revenant Star. Wasn't this the place where he had been looking for Rulan? He wanted to find the secret of the metal origin and then return to Second Revenant Star. However, he hadn't expected that because he had been cultivating in that hidden starfield, the mysterious yellow had leaked out, and he had almost been killed by Guasangan. Later, he fled to the ancient Desolace abandoned land and entered the Eternal Night domain. After learning that the ancient Shadow Temple had appeared on Second Revenant Star, Ning Cheng immediately decided to go to the ancient Shadow Temple. Since a mystic realm had appeared on Second Revenant Star, there might be people he was familiar with. If a cultivator from the graceful Star mainland went to the ancient Shadow Temple, he could ask about Rulan. The Starry Sky will had a much higher speed compared to ordinary flight-type weapons. Therefore, after entering the named Descendant Celestial River with the Starry Sky Wheel, Ning Cheng finally understood the influence of the ancient Shadow Temple. Along the way, almost all the flight-type weapons were heading towards a single place, named Descendant Celestial River's Second Revenant Star. Just as Ning Cheng said, Second Revenant Star was truly lively right now. Covered Snow City, the closest city to the ancient Shadow Temple, was already overcrowded at this time. The originally desolate Covered Snow City was now filled with all kinds of magnificent skyscrapers. The starry sky chambers of commerce from all over the world were like cats that had smelled fish, and they all rushed here. The price of land in Covered Snow City skyrocketed in just one day. Even a shop in Grand Culmination Starry Sky's Eternal Heaven Starry Sky City could not compare to the price in Covered Snow City. In the past, those who had occupied territories here and built various merchant houses had all made a lot of money. Of course, those were those who had the ability to occupy this place. If you don't have the ability, even if you occupy this place, it will be snatched away by others, or even destroyed. There are so many people here. Chasing Bull, who followed behind Ning Cheng, spoke up with excitement. This fellow loved lively scenes the most. What Chasing Bull said was right. There really were a lot of people here. Ning Cheng and Chasing Bull hadn't yet entered Covered Snow City, but the area outside Covered Snow City was already packed with people. Temporary market squares and trading halls were set up outside Covered Snow City. There were cultivators everywhere, and there were people everywhere. After arriving at this place, Ning Cheng did not see any ancient Shadow Temple. Instead, he saw countless people. This reminded him of the time when he was on Earth. Every holiday and long holiday, all the major scenic spots would be packed with people. Master, there are too many people outside the Covered Snow City. Let's go to the city. Chasing Bull whispered from the side. Ning Cheng understood what Chasing Bull meant. Since there were already so many people outside Covered Snow City, then there would definitely be more people inside the city. However, Chasing Bull wasn't afraid of crowds. It wanted to squeeze into the crowd. In fact, Ning Cheng also planned to explore Covered Snow City. To go to the ancient Shadow Temple, one had to go to the east of Covered Snow City. If one entered Covered Snow City from the west, and then came out from the east, they would reach the ancient Shadow Temple. You can bring your companion beast into the city. It's a total of 20,000 green coins for 2 people. The guard at the city gate stopped Ning Cheng. 20,000 green coins was not a small amount for an ordinary cultivator, however, Ning Cheng did not care about it at all. He casually rewarded others with 10 perpetual moon pills, so why would he care about 20,000 green coins? He casually took out 1,000 purple coins and stuffed it into the guard's hand, casually saying, "The rest is a tip." For cultivators at Ning Cheng's level, most of them use perpetual moon pills and permanent essence pills, or even starry sky essence chi veins. Celestial coins were just dispensable things for them. Even celestial essence stones had a greater use for them than celestial coins. After Ning Cheng and Chasing Bull walked far away, the guard reacted and quickly thanked them with a bow, "Many thanks, Senior, for the reward." Celestial coins did not have much use for Ning Cheng, but for ordinary cultivators, it was a cultivation resource. With this thing, they could buy medicinal pills, weapons, or anything else they wanted from anywhere. Chasing Bull had not spoken incorrectly. Although Covered Snow City was crowded with people, it didn't look as crowded as the outside. Ning Ching knew the reason for this. It was because 20,000 green coins to enter Covered Snow City was too high for ordinary cultivators. Ning Ching naturally wouldn't buy any weapons or medicinal pills in such a small place. Instead, he walked through Covered Snow City and swept out with his spiritual consciousness. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness directly broke through some of the shielding restrictions. Fortunately, Ning Cheng only wanted to find someone. Therefore, after his spiritual consciousness penetrated the restrictions, he didn't destroy them. Therefore, no one dared to say anything. How could a cultivator who could break through the shielding restrictions with his spiritual consciousness be simple? After walking for most of the day, Ning Cheng stood at the bridge connecting Covered Snow City's East City and West City. However, he couldn't find any acquaintances. The words East Gate Bridge gave off an imposing aura. Apparently, this East Gate Bridge had been rebuilt not long ago. Walking across the East Gate Bridge, one could only see newly built luxury merchant buildings and various pavilions. Judging from the layout, one could tell that these luxury merchant buildings and pavilions all belonged to the same master. Master, should we go in and have a look? The merchant buildings here are just too beautiful. Chasing Bull had followed Ning Cheng for most of the day but hadn't entered a single restaurant. It felt envious in its heart. Ning Cheng wasn't in the mood to go to a restaurant and casually said, after leaving the East City, we'll walk around the ancient Shadow Temple. If we don't find any acquaintances, we'll return to Culmination Starland. Chasing Bull lowered its head and didn't dare to say anything. It just followed Ning Cheng across the East Gate Bridge. Ning Cheng had just walked across the East Gate Bridge when a figure flew out of a pavilion at the end of the bridge. This figure flew directly towards Ning Cheng's side, but before it could land on the ground, it coughed up a few mouthfuls of blood in the air. Apparently, someone had blasted this figure out of the bridge. Ning Cheng didn't even stretch out his hand when his domain stopped this figure. The figure fell to the ground and took a few steps back before standing firm. It was a middle-aged man who looked like he had gone through the vicissitudes of life, with an undead cultivation. If not for Ning Cheng's domain, he would have broken at least a few of his bones. This person didn't seem to know that someone had helped him. After landing on the ground, he rushed towards the pavilion with bloodshot eyes. Ning Cheng shook his head. This fellow truly didn't fear death. Someone had obviously beaten him to death. Yet, after being saved by Ning Cheng, he still rushed up. In fact, before this man could rush up, someone had already come out of the pavilion. Ning Cheng didn't care about it. This kind of thing happened everywhere every day, and it wasn't surprising at all. Moreover, he didn't know who was in the right and who was in the wrong. Lu Yu, Lu Yu. The man didn't care about the two cultivators rushing towards him and frantically called out Lu Yu's name while rushing towards the luxurious pavilion. Ning Cheng stopped. He suddenly felt that the name Lu Yu sounded a bit familiar. But soon, he remembered who Lu Yu was. It was Xian Yu's elder sister. Xian Yu's elder sister, Lu Yu, was fancied by Orchid Burrow Celestial River's Orchid Burrow King. However, Lu Yu already had someone she loved, and she and her beloved escaped from Orchid Burrow Celestial River. As a result, Orchid Burrow King vented his anger on Lu Yu's family. Fortunately, Xian Yu replaced her elder sister and married Orchid Burrow King, which calmed Orchid Burrow King's anger. Later, after Xian Yu's relatives died, Xian Yu eloped with her good friend, Jing Wuming, on their way to striking Order Star Land. At that time, Jing Wuming said that he wanted to go to Time Wilderness. However, Ning Cheng didn't see him in Time Wilderness and didn't know if he went there or not. Ning Cheng didn't know if this man called Lu Yu was Xian Yu's elder sister. If it was, then for Jing Wuming's sake, he would help. To be honest, Ning Cheng didn't have a good impression of Xian Yu's elder sister, Lu Yu. This woman didn't even care about her family in order to stay with her man. From this, one could imagine that if it weren't for her younger sister, her family wouldn't have survived in front of Orchid Burrow King. Let's go and have a look. Ning Cheng took the lead and walked over. Chasing Bull was a fellow that wished to see the world in chaos. Seeing its master interested in visiting this restaurant, it quickly walked ahead and led the way. The restaurant is busy right now. Come back later. The waiter stopped Chasing Bull, however, his words were meant for Ning Cheng, who stood behind Chasing Bull. Chasing Bull opened its mouth and sneezed. My master came to your restaurant because he thinks highly of you. Hurry up and open the door, welcome my master upstairs, and then bring out the best wine for my master. Give the second best wine to this Grandpa Bull. The waiter felt shocked by Chasing Bull's words. A talking demonic beast was already surprising enough, but what was even more outrageous was that this demonic pet dared to say such words in G Clan's restaurant. Was it courting death? Even the two cultivators who stopped the man rushing towards the restaurant felt stunned by Chasing Bull's words. Both of them had the same thoughts, so where did this arrogant stupid bull come from? Ning Cheng slapped Chasing Bull's head. Step aside. If you don't know how to speak, then don't speak. In the future, don't speak without a chin. How many people do you want to offend in a day? Master, I have a chin. Chasing Bull lowered its head and muttered. It didn't dare to continue talking nonsense. What a big face and a big tongue. I'd like to see who wants my restaurant to open the door and bring out the best wine. A disdainful voice arrived, followed by a male cultivator in brocade robes. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept into the pavilion and found that the decorations inside looked more luxurious and magnificent than the outside. His spiritual consciousness did not hesitate to break open the restrictions on the second floor, and in one of the rooms on the second floor, he saw a female cultivator covered in blood, her clothes in disarray. Ning Cheng immediately recognized this female cultivator as Lu Yu, who looked 80% similar to Xian Yu. Knowing that Lu Yu was indeed here, Ning Cheng ignored the male cultivator in brocade robes and walked up to the restrained man and asked, "What's your name?" The man's eyes and face were filled with resentment. Unfortunately, someone had stopped him and couldn't resist at all. Now that Ning Cheng asked, he immediately replied, "My name is Dongli," but then he froze. Didn't I say I couldn't speak? How could I suddenly speak? Your Dao companion is called Lu Yu. You were wanted by the Orchid Burrow King and escaped from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River. Ning Cheng spoke with a flat tone. Dongli felt even more sluggish. He and Lu Yu had been hiding in this inconspicuous place for many years. How did this cultivator know about it? Chapter 7:12. How can you talk? I clearly just sealed. The cultivator who had locked Dongli in place was not able to finish his words when Ning Cheng kicked him away. Even the cultivator standing next to him was also kicked away by Ning Cheng. Dongli, go upstairs and bring Lu Yu out, and then come with me. Ning Cheng said after kicking away the two cultivators who had locked Dongli. Dongli came back to his senses. Someone was standing up for him. He repeatedly thank you, senior. Thank you. Although he thanked Ning Cheng, he didn't slow down at all. After just a few words, he rushed into the restaurant again. The brocade-robed male cultivator who came out of the restaurant looked at Ning Cheng in a daze and didn't dare to stop Dongli. The two cultivators who had locked Dongli were both in Heaven's Mandate realm, yet this person easily kicked them away. Was this person a heaven-seated expert? Regardless of whether Ning Cheng was a heaven-seated expert or not, he didn't dare to continue talking to Ning Cheng, at least not now. Chasing Bull, on seeing Ning Cheng take action, immediately walked to the brocade-robed male cultivator's side and stretched out its hoof to rub against his robe. Kid, your clothes look good. At least it looks like a human touching a dog. The brocade-robed male cultivator didn't dare to refute Chasing Bull's words and just secretly sent out a few messages. In just a few minutes, Dongli came out with Lu Yu. By this time, Lu Yu had changed into a clean robe, but the scar on her neck was still very clear. Lu Yu thanks Senior for saving my life. Lu Yu was much more worldly than Dong Li, and the first thing she did after coming out was to thank Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng waved his hand, "It's nothing. You can come with me. After I leave Second Revenant Star, I'll take you two with me." Ning Cheng was very clear that the person who could occupy such a large piece of land in this place and build such a luxurious merchant house was definitely not an ordinary cultivator. If he left after saving Dong Li and Lu Yu, these two people would fall into the hands of others sooner or later. As for helping Lu Yu find justice and fighting back, Ning Cheng didn't even think about it. Such things happened too often. Unless the people around him were bullied, he wouldn't care about such things. Lu Yu said gratefully, thank you, Senior." This junior and his wife have never met Senior before. Ning Cheng knew what Lu Yu was worried about. These two people had been hiding here for many years and had developed a habit of being cautious. If they didn't know his identity and followed him, they wouldn't feel at ease. After understanding Lu Yu's thoughts, Ning Cheng simply explained, "You don't have to worry about it. I saved you because of Xian Yu. I know Xian Yu, so I know what happened to you. That's why I saved you." Lu Yu was obviously not an ignorant little girl. She had experienced too many things. With Ning Cheng's flat tone and expression, coupled with knowing Xian Yu, she immediately understood what the problem was. However, she pursed her lips and did not explain the matter. Chasing Bull was a long-winded fellow. Not only was it long-winded, but it also liked to meddle. Ning Cheng did not ask for the reason, but it could not help but deliberately walk to Dong Li's side, and opened its mouth to speak. "You don't have any experience, just look at the luxurious appearance of that restaurant, you know that it is not something you can deal with. You two don't know life from death and even tried to find trouble with that restaurant." In Lu Yu's view, although Chasing Bull was just a companion beast, since it could follow her savior, it naturally had a high status. Moreover, this companion beast's aura clearly surpassed her and Dong Li's. Although Lu Yu only had a celestial bridge cultivation, she understood the relationship in an instant and quickly replied with a respectful tone, "Senior Spirit Beast, this place originally belonged to me and Dong Li. But when the ancient Shadow Temple appeared, Ji clan occupied it. The Ji clan basically snatched all the nearby shops like this. They didn't spend any money at all. For the sake of these shops, who knows how many innocent people the Ji clan has killed." Hearing Lu Yu address it as Senior Spirit Beast, Chasing Bull spoke up with even more pride, "Well, you have a good eye. In that case, why are you still here?" Spirit Beast was a respectful title for ordinary companion beasts. Even if one looked at the entire starry sky, where would a spirit beast come from? Even if there was a spirit beast, how could it become someone else's companion beast? The reason why Chasing Bull spoke so proudly was that it truly was a spirit beast. "It's all my fault. You, and I did some business outside the ancient Shadow Temple and made some money recently. But because more and more people came here, you, felt a little worried, so we decided to leave this place. Before leaving, I felt a little reluctant to leave my old store, so I came here to reminisce about it. I didn't expect to get caught for no reason. If it weren't for Senior." Ning Cheng naturally understood Dong Li's words. If it weren't for him, Lu Yu and Dong Li would have most likely died here today. Lu Yu followed and explained, "Someone in the store must have recognized me and wanted to take me to the Orchid Burrow Celestial River to hand me over to the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King. I've been away from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River for so many years. It stands to reason that no one would recognize me even if there was a wanted poster." Ning Cheng felt relieved in his heart. He knew better than Lu Yu what was going on. If he guessed correctly, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King must have failed to catch Xian Yu and started to put a wanted poster on Xian Yu. Since someone wanted to capture Lu Yu, it most likely confused the two. Since Xian Yu had not been caught, Jing Wuming naturally would not be caught. Seeing Ning Qing not speaking, Lu Yu spoke up with some worry, "Senior, the people who were taught a lesson by Senior were from the Ji clan. These merchant buildings all belong to the Ji family. Senior saved me and Dong Li here. I'm afraid." Chasing Bull gave a cold snort. "What is there to be afraid of? It's fine if the Ji family doesn't come, but if they do, Master doesn't even need to do anything. This old bull will trample them to death." Dong Li also carefully spoke up, "Named descendant Celestial River King is called Ji Yangyao. I heard that he is a powerhouse in the life and death realm. As for named descendant Star's main star, named Mu Ya Star's master was called Ji Yaoji, and he had just advanced to the heaven-seated realm. The owner of this merchant house was Ji Honglu, and Ji Honglu was the granddaughter of Celestial River King Ji Yangyao. Senior, look. Humph, the Ji family is nothing. Even if this old bull had been to Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain, Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor would have to stand in front of this old bull to speak." Chasing Bull started to brag. Dong Li and Lu Yu rarely went out and lived in seclusion in this place, but that didn't mean that they didn't know anything. They also knew about Heavenly Emperor Chuan Xinlo of Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain. Hearing Chasing Bull say that Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain had also been to Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain and that Heavenly Emperor Chuan Xinlo would stand in front of him to speak, they couldn't help but feel shocked. They couldn't help but wonder if Chasing Bull was telling the truth or not. Chasing Bull, on seeing the frightened Dong Li and Lu Yu, spoke up with even more pride, "Master, why don't we buy this piece of land belonging to the Ji clan and then move Culmination Starland's Qing Rulan artifact crafting store here?" Ning Qing didn't even bother to pay attention to Chasing Bull. Instead, his spiritual consciousness swept out in an overwhelming manner. Qing Rulan artifact crafting store. At this time, Dong Li and Lu Yu spoke up at the same time. Ning Qing subconsciously looked at Dong Li and Lu Yu, wondering why the two were so surprised about this artifact crafting store. Seeing Ning Qing's surprised gaze, Lu Yu reacted quickly and quickly replied, "Senior, there used to be a store in front of our store called Qing Rulan, but it's called Qing Rulan Restaurant." "You said there's a Qing Rulan restaurant here. What's the owner's name?" Ning Qing had long since forgotten that Lu Yu was a female cultivator. He reached out and grabbed Lu Yu's shoulder, as if afraid that she would walk away. "The owner's name is Helian Mingzhe, and he has a granddaughter, Helian Dai." Lu Yu only finished half of her words when Ning Qing put down his hand in disappointment. It wasn't surprising for people to have the same name in this vast starry sky. Even so, he still had to ask where Helian Mingzhe went. "There's also a helper called Ning Rulan. Qing Rulan Restaurant is named after Ning Rulan." After hearing Lu Yu's words, Ning Qing felt stunned. After a few breaths, he asked with a trembling voice, "Where did Ning Rulan go? Where is she?" "Senior." Lu Yu seemed to feel something and called out with some uncertainty. Ning Qing took in a deep breath and cupped his fists towards Lu Yu and Dong Li. "My name is Ning Qing, Ning Rulan's elder brother. I came here to look for Rulan. Tell me, where is Rulan?" Lu Yu and Dong Li opened their mouths wide and couldn't speak for a long time. Rulan's cultivation couldn't be any lower. How could she have such a powerful elder brother? Hurry up and talk. Are you mute? Chasing Bull saw Lu Yu and Dong Li in a daze and shouted with some dissatisfaction. Lu Yu recovered and quickly spoke up, "Qing Rulan Restaurant, like my shop, was forcibly occupied by Ji clan." Ning Qing interrupted Lu Yu's words in fear, "Is Rulan okay?" After a moment of silence, Lu Yu spoke up with some uncertainty, "I guess she should be fine. A few months ago, I saw Helian Dai in front of the ancient Shadow Temple. She seemed to have opened a temporary shop there. I think since Helian Dai is fine, Rulan should also be fine." Ning Qing felt anxious and hurriedly spoke up, "Hurry up and take me to the ancient Shadow Temple, the place where you saw Helian Dai last time." "Yes, Senior." Lu Yu and Dong Li hurriedly led the way. Ning Qing didn't have the mood to settle accounts with Ji clan at this time. At least, he had to find Rulan first. Whether he could find Rulan or not, he would raise Ji clan to the ground for occupying Qing Rulan restaurant. So what if it was a celestial river king? He had just killed a sacred master in everlasting sacred shrine and even planned to take a trip to the endless void docks. Why would he care about a celestial river king? Not to mention that striking order heavenly emperor wouldn't fall out with him for killing the named descendant celestial river king. Even if striking order heavenly emperor fell out with him, he wouldn't fear it. The ancient shadow temple wasn't far from the east gate of covered snow city. Ning Qing followed Lu Yu out of the east gate, and in less than half an hour, they arrived at the periphery of the ancient shadow temple. However, various array formations had melted the snow here, and various temporary buildings, makeshift marketplaces, caves, and artifacts could be seen everywhere. People came and went, creating a lot of noise. Lu Yu quickly led Ning Qing to the place where she saw Helian Dai. She pointed to a newly erected merchant house and said, "This merchant house didn't exist at that time. This is Helian Dai's territory. I guess Helian Dai and the others had been driven away." Chapter 713. Friend, how can our store help you? The shopkeeper had a much better vision compared to the shop assistant. As soon as he came out, he cupped his fists and spoke to Ning Qing. He couldn't see Ning Qing's cultivation, but Chasing Bull's imposing aura was clearly no less than his. With such a companion beast, the owner definitely wouldn't be bad, at least late-stage Heaven's Mandate realm. As for the Heaven-seated realm, he shouldn't have reached it yet. He could also see that Ning Qing wasn't that old. Starry Sky cultivators had to accumulate their cultivation over the years, and there was no such thing as a casual success. For a moment, more than a dozen people stood up and shouted. The cultivators didn't know what happened, but when they saw the goatee being blasted out and Ning Qing destroying the store, they immediately rushed over. From today onwards, this place will once again become Qing Rulan Restaurant. As for named River Chamber of Commerce, it will soon disappear from Second Revenant Star. No, it will disappear from named Descendant Celestial River. Chasing Bull, take off the hoof. Let's talk after we figure it out. Ning Qing, seeing the shop assistant send out a message, patted Chasing Bull. In fact, even the worst middle-grade airship artifact would make people go crazy, let alone Ning Qing's airship artifact of such high quality. Ning Qing asked in a calm tone, "How long has it been since you moved this store here?" The reason why he pointed to this cultivator was that a middle-grade airship artifact was too attractive for ordinary cultivators. If it were a cultivator with a lower cultivation, they might not even be able to keep it and might even lose their lives. It was normal for named River Chamber of Commerce to drive away other rogue cultivators who wanted to do business. If named River Chamber of Commerce didn't have a place here and didn't drive away the rogue cultivators who occupied a good spot, it would have been abnormal. After saying that, Ning Qing stretched out his hand and slapped out. The goatee let out a scream before Ning Qing blasted him out of the store. Ning Qing's slap also destroyed the store. After that, Chasing Bull kicked twice and directly knocked down all the sample cabinets inside the counter. In just a moment, the place behind the counter turned into a mess. Chasing Bull lifted its foot and stepped on the counter. This time, Chasing Bull smashed the counter into pieces. "Goatee, it's your fortune that Master asked you a question. Master has a good temper, but this old bull has a bad temper. Do you want to challenge this old bull's bottom line?" "I know." Ning Qing's eyes were filled with coldness as he looked at the goatee and spoke, "You are shopkeeper Quan." However, it wasn't normal for them to come here and drive away the named River Chamber of Commerce's merchant house and demolish it. Although everyone appreciated Ning Qing's actions from the bottom of their hearts, but no one stood up to echo him. What kind of place was named River Chamber of Commerce? No one would go against the named River Chamber of Commerce for no reason. The cultivator who came out from the shop informed them about what happened earlier. It did not take long for almost all the cultivators there to find out that the shop that named River Trade Association chased away also had a backer. Now that their backer had come to settle the score, there was bound to be a struggle between them and the named River Chamber of Commerce. Lu Yu, who followed behind Ning Cheng, quickly spoke up, "Senior, named River Chamber of Commerce is one of the 5 major chambers of commerce in named Descendant Celestial River. The leader, Fu Yinghe, is a sky-seated expert." When the Peak Heavens Mandate cultivator heard Ning Cheng's words, he excitedly squeezed to the front and said, "Senior, I know about this matter very well. There used to be a winery here that was opened by 3 people. The owner was Helian Mingzhe. I don't know the names of the other 2, but they were 2 female cultivators with low cultivation. The named Descendant Chamber of Commerce came here a bit late and couldn't occupy a spot, so they forcibly drove the 3 away." The goateed man, on seeing Ning Cheng speak the truth, spoke up in a cold tone, "This is my named Descendant Celestial River's matter. You don't have to worry about it. Now, please get out. You are not welcome here. Our merchant house wants to do business." Ning Cheng nodded, but still stared at the goateed man and said, "Why did I hear that you snatched this merchant house? The shop owners in front are called Helian Mingzhe and Helian Dai. Call the shopkeeper out." Ning Cheng squeezed in and separated the crowd at the counter. Since Ning Cheng's clues about Rulan ended here, how could Ning Cheng have the patience to stand in line? Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out, and all the restrictions around him had no effect on his spiritual consciousness. However, he didn't see any trace of Ning Rulan, nor did he see Helian Dai, who Lu Yu had mentioned. Most of the people here were rogue cultivators, and no one wanted to cause trouble. Ning Cheng squeezed in with a bit of ominous aura. Ning Cheng didn't even need to do anything, as the cultivators in front of the counter automatically parted. Some of the less courageous cultivators even started to retreat. "Stand in line at the back, or please get out. If you want to cause trouble here, you've come to the wrong place." The shop assistant, on seeing Ning Cheng squeezing out the surrounding cultivators and even letting some of the customers leave, immediately shouted out in displeasure. The shop's business was very good. It didn't matter if Ning Cheng had 1 more or 1 less. The shopkeeper quickly came down. He was an elegant man with a goateed beard and a cultivation at the Peak of Heaven's Mandate realm. When the crowd moved out of the way, Ning Cheng waved his hand again, and the merchant house, which had not yet completely collapsed, turned into ruins. After destroying the entire merchant house, Ning Cheng continued, "Named River Chamber of Commerce forcibly occupied my friend's winery. Today, I will take it back." The goateed bearded shopkeeper felt a chill run down his spine, and immediately thought about why he should be afraid of him. Even if this person was a heaven-seated cultivator, he wouldn't dare to do anything to him. Moreover, behind him was a heaven-seated powerhouse. Moreover, it was a middle-stage heaven-seated powerhouse. Do you have the guts to speak with such boldness? I, Fu Yinghe, came here today to see what method you would use to make my named River Chamber of Commerce disappear. Don't let my named River Chamber of Commerce disappear first. A cold and angry voice arrived, and then a middle-aged man in a brown cultivator robe landed on the merchant house that Ning Cheng had destroyed. Before Ning Cheng could speak, Chasing Bull stepped forward and stepped on the counter. "Didn't you hear Master's words? Call your shopkeeper out. This old bull will count to 3. If the shopkeeper doesn't show up, this old bull will tear down your shop." Chasing Bull had been with Ning Cheng for a long time and had already come to understand its master's temper. This was the time to show off. Otherwise, its master would feel useless and throw it back into his storage ring. Ning Cheng didn't care about the goateed bearded shopkeeper bringing out his flying sword. Instead, he turned to the cultivators watching the excitement inside and said, "If anyone here can say how this merchant house came to be, I will give you a middle-grade flight-type Dao artifact." No matter how famous the named River Chamber of Commerce was, it couldn't stop these cultivators from showing their love for Ning Cheng's airship-type Dao artifact. Even Lu Yu and Dong Li, who stood behind Ning Cheng, had a fiery glow in their eyes. Middle-grade Dao artifact airship. How many years would it take to save enough celestial coins to buy it? I know. Chasing Bull's imposing aura pressed down, and the shopkeeper immediately found it difficult to breathe. He didn't wait for Chasing Bull to say it a second time and quickly took out his communication pearl to send out a few messages. The goateed bearded man's eyes flashed with fear, but before he could answer, the Peak Heavens Mandate cultivator who told Ning Cheng about the problem spoke up. Yes, he is shopkeeper Quan. After saying that, Ning Cheng raised his hand and threw out an airship-type Dao artifact. The airship looked exquisite, and the aura of Dao charm flowed over it. Spiritual consciousness couldn't penetrate it at all. The surrounding cultivators immediately understood that it was a very good middle-grade Dao artifact airship. The shopkeeper heard Lu Yu's worried voice and gave a disdainful snort. Speak. Ning Cheng pointed to a fierce-looking Peak Heavens Mandate cultivator. Yes, master. Chasing Bull completely ignored the surrounding gazes and respectfully put away its hooves. However, it felt triumphant in its heart. It thought that it had not done anything wrong this time. If it had done something wrong, its master would have given it a slap, and not just a light pat. From the looks of it, its skills in pleasing its master were improving day by day. How could those little bees compare to this old bull in the future? Everyone looked at Ning Cheng, who came out of the broken merchant house, but no one knew what Ning Cheng wanted to do. Most of them wondered where this person came from and even dared to provoke one of named River Chamber of Commerce, one of the 5 major chambers of commerce in named Descendant Celestial River. The goateed bearded shopkeeper suddenly felt a thump in his heart for no reason, and a bad feeling rose in his heart. However, he still replied politely, I've been here for less than 3 months. Ning Cheng looked at the goateed bearded man's expression and understood that this Heaven's Mandate cultivator did not lie. With a wave of his hand, the middle-grade Dao artifact airship fell into the hands of this Heaven's Mandate cultivator. This thing belongs to you. The rest of you can leave this place. As soon as the fear in his heart disappeared, the goateed bearded man's voice grew louder. Friend, how did I get this place? It doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? My shop is a branch of named River Chamber of Commerce. If you have any questions, you can go to named River Chamber of Commerce and ask. At that time, Hellion Mingzhi had walked a bit slower and ended up injured by someone. The one who injured Hellion Mingzhi was shopkeeper Quan. After Hellion Mingzhi got injured, the 2 female cultivators immediately took Hellion Mingzhi away. As for where they went, I don't know. In fact, this merchant house not only occupies Hellion Mingzhi's shop, but also the shops of several rogue cultivators around it. Named River Chamber of Commerce's Association Master Fu Winghe is here. Someone in the crowd immediately whispered. You. Seeing Chasing Bull acting so unscrupulously, the goateed bearded shopkeeper's expression finally changed. He could see that Ning Cheng did not fear their named River Chamber of Commerce at all. At this moment, he did not even have the time to send out a message and directly brought out a flying sword. Ning Cheng then spoke to the surrounding cultivators. Friends, please step back and give up this place. I'm going to arrange an array formation. Ning Cheng walked into the merchant house that Lu Yu had pointed out and saw many people inside. From this, one could tell that this merchant house's business was very good. This was a merchant house that purchased spiritual grasses and sold medicinal pills. This time, Ning Cheng did not speak at all. If Hellion Dai had left through a formal transaction, this goateed bearded shopkeeper would have told the truth. But now that the goateed bearded man spoke, it meant that they had forced out the previous shop. As Ning Cheng spoke those words, the chattering voices immediately disappeared. The scene turned silent. These words were tantamount to an irreconcilable enmity with named River Chamber of Commerce. If it were just a matter of competing for territory, then they could still discuss it and mutually compensate each other for the losses. But to make named River Chamber of Commerce disappear, this enmity would definitely be huge. Where the hell did this cultivator come from? How could he speak without caring about the consequences? Thump. When the goateed bearded man fell to the ground, his meridians broke and his cultivation completely destroyed by Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng even tore down the named River Chamber of Commerce's merchant house, so no one dared to not step aside. For Starry Sky cultivators, a good flight-type weapon meant a more powerful life-saving means. The ancient Shadow Temple opened a long time ago, and you came so late. How did you get such a good sight? Ning Cheng stared into the shopkeeper's eyes and asked with a stern voice. Chapter 7:14. Named River Chamber of Commerce's Association Master, Fu Yinghe, had arrived. Everyone knew that there would be a good show to watch. That's him. He acted arrogantly in our Ji clan's restaurant. Not only did he beat up our people, but he also directly took away the woman that the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King wanted. A man in brocaded robes pointed at Ning Cheng from the crowd and spoke to a black-robed male cultivator next to him through gritted teeth. Uncle Bison, go up and take him down. I want him to suffer a fate worse than death. I want this ant to know the consequences of offending my Ji family. The brocade-robed man spoke almost one word at a time. This was because he knew that he was not Ning Cheng's opponent. If he could beat Ning Cheng, then maybe he would have already rushed up. The black-robed male cultivator called Bison waved his hand at the brocade-robed man. Wait, Fu Yinghe is here. Not only did this person provoke my Ji family, he even continues to provoke the named River Chamber of Commerce. I want to see just what kind of means he has. If he can't even deal with Fu Yinghe, how could he be worthy of my Ji clan's help? When the man in embroidered robes heard this, he did not dare to talk back. He could only mutter, Uncle Bison, Fu Yinghe has already found him. How can I still have a chance to take revenge? The black-robed male cultivator grinned. It's easy to take revenge. When Fu Yinghe captures this person, he will definitely humiliate him. At that time, you can go up and take revenge however you want. As long as we are still in named Descendant Celestial River, named River Chamber of Commerce would still have to give face to my Ji clan. Thank you, Uncle Bison. The man in embroidered clothes was overjoyed when he heard this. Ning Cheng, with his hands behind his back, stood in front of Fu Yinghe and spoke with a calm tone. If it was indeed your named River Chamber of Commerce who forcibly drove away the winery from before, and even injured people because they walked a bit slower than you, then you wouldn't have done so. Named River Chamber of Commerce will indeed be removed from named Descendant Celestial River. Ha! Fu Yinghe laughed out of anger. I've seen arrogant people, but I've never seen someone as arrogant as you. Then I, Fu Yinghe, will tell you that my named River Chamber of Commerce doesn't need an inexplicable fellow to tell us what to do. Since you've destroyed my named River Chamber of Commerce's merchant house today, I'll use your flesh and soul as a sacrifice. As he spoke, the killing intent around Fu Yinghe pressed down layer by layer. One by one, the nearby cultivators kept retreating. Under this oppressive atmosphere, they felt extremely uncomfortable. Ning Cheng kicked Chasing Bull next to him. Chasing Bull, I'll leave this fellow to you. He's not worth my time. Chasing Bull wanted to wait for its master to kill Fu Yinghe before going up to show off its arrogance. However, it never expected that its master would ask it to go up and fight. It immediately drooped its head and spoke with a sad voice, Master, I'm not an adult yet. Get up there and fight. If you lose, stay in the ring and don't come out. Ning Cheng kicked Chasing Bull's tail again. Chasing Bull immediately turned anxious when it heard that it couldn't come out if it lost. It couldn't come out. Staying in the ring with a few little bees was killing it. After seeing the colorful world outside, Chasing Bull didn't want to go back alone. Since Old Master told me to come out and fight, he definitely won't let me die. After Chasing Bull understood this, it ignored Fu Yinghe's domain suppression and rushed up. It opened its mouth and spat out a thick blade light. At the same time, its huge front hooves stepped towards Fu Yinghe. Courting death. Fu Yinghe saw a starry sky grade 6 beast daring to ignore his domain and gave a cold snort. He didn't even bother to take out a weapon and punched out. He believed that this stupid bull wouldn't be able to move an inch under his domain. His fist would then smash it into pieces. One move, just one move, and he could kill this stupid bull. That arrogant young cultivator relied on concealing his cultivation to act crazy. Today, Fu Yinghe would let him know that not everyone was a coward. But the next moment, Fu Yinghe felt something wrong. His domain didn't have any effect on the stupid bull in front of him. Moreover, his domain started to crack inch by inch, and a more powerful domain suppressed it, causing his fist to suddenly slow down. This was the suppression of an eternal expert. Fu Yinghe's expression immediately changed. To suppress him with such an absolute advantage, this fellow definitely had to be an eternal expert. He didn't know that although Ning Cheng was only in the life and death realm, his domain and spiritual consciousness far surpassed that of ordinary eternal experts. Without waiting for him to speak, Chasing Bull's wind blade blasted over. The wind blade completely ignored Fu Yinghe's domain and directly slammed into Fu Yinghe's fist. Puff puff. Blood sprayed out, and Fu Yinghe's fist bones suddenly broke. It's just that Chasing Bull's cultivation was too low compared to Fu Yinghe's. Even with Ning Cheng's help, it only managed to break Fu Yinghe's fist bones. Chasing Bull felt ecstatic in its heart. If it had known that it would be so simple, this old bull would have already asked for help. Instead of cowering, its master would have looked down on it. It knew that its master wouldn't let it die. Now, it seemed that it was indeed the case. Ning Cheng, on seeing that Chasing Bull's wind blades didn't have much power, frowned a little. This stupid bull didn't have any real skills apart from flattery. In order to end the fight quickly, Ning Cheng sent out several spiritual consciousness blades. Ning Cheng's cultivation was already higher than Fu Yinghe's. Now, it was equivalent to him and Chasing Bull attacking Fu Yinghe. How could Fu Yinghe bear it? Several spiritual consciousness blades slashed into Fu Yinghe's sea of consciousness, causing cracks to appear on Fu Yinghe's sea of consciousness. Fu Yinghe's soul almost flew out of his body. The wind blades had already hit his fist, and at this moment, his sea of consciousness had already suffered severe injuries. Therefore, his fist had lost even half of its power. As for bringing out a weapon, he had no chance at all. Even if there was a chance, Fu Yinghe knew that he wasn't the opponent of this person in front of him. He knew that he had gone blind. This young cultivator of unknown origin was an absolute powerhouse. Others might not know about Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness blades, but he naturally knew about them. Before Fu Yinghe could speak, Chasing Bull's hoof descended. Catcha! Chasing Bull's hoof directly kicked Fu Yinghe's chest, breaking Fu Yinghe's sternum and causing him to spurt out a few mouthfuls of blood. However, Chasing Bull didn't let it go and took the opportunity to stomp down again. Ning Cheng knew that if he didn't take action, Chasing Bull wouldn't be able to kill Fu Yinghe even if Fu Yinghe suffered severe injuries. He raised his hand and threw out a fireball. At the same time, he also took away Fu Yinghe's ring. In just a dozen breaths, Fu Yinghe turned into nothingness. Ning Cheng had used the Fire Origin Crystal to upgrade the Scarlet Crow Flame to Nirvana Grade 3. Moreover, Fu Yinghe had never undergone body forging. Therefore, he couldn't last long in front of Ning Cheng's Scarlet Crow Flame. Chasing Bull proudly stood at the place where Fu Yinghe fell and spoke up, "A mere association master dares to fight against this old bull. This old bull can kill you with a sneeze." Whether Chasing Bull was just bragging or not, the surroundings turned completely silent. No one could see that Ning Cheng had made a move. Everyone looked at Chasing Bull with awe in their eyes. It turned out that this demonic pet was the most powerful one. What a powerful demonic bull. No wonder this young cultivator dared to pick the named River Chamber of Commerce so boldly. Most people thought that if they had such a powerful demonic pet, they would also dare to provoke the named River Chamber of Commerce. Let's go. In the crowd in the distance, the black-robed male cultivator called Bison pulled up the brocade-robed man and rushed out of the crowd. Ning Cheng's gaze swept over the back of the black-robed male cultivator with a cold gaze. However, he didn't chase after him. Now was not the time to start. His main purpose right now was to find Rulan. Uncle Bison. Only after entering the covered snow city's East City gate did the brocade-robed man call out in horror. He didn't expect that arrogant bull to be so powerful. Killing the association master of the named River Chamber of Commerce was as simple as breathing. Slap. After the black-robed male cultivator put down the brocade-robed man, he raised his hand and slapped him. 5 bloody marks appeared on the brocade-robed man's face, and the brocade-robed man spat out a few teeth. Uncle Bison. The brocade-robed man looked at the black-robed cultivator in disbelief. The black-robed cultivator's face, which originally had a bronze color, turned livid with anger. Ji Zhengsheng, you beast. How dare you provoke such a big enemy for my Ji clan? After chasing Bull killed Fu Yinghe, Ji Bison understood that his Ji clan had gained another powerful enemy. Although Ji clan didn't fear such an opponent, this opponent wasn't someone that Second Revenant Star's Celestial Lord Ji Yoji could deal with. In terms of cultivation, Ji Yoji wasn't as good as Fu Yinghe. If that bull could kill Fu Yinghe, then it could easily kill Ji Bison or Ji Yoji. Perhaps only Ji clan's most powerful person, named Descendant Celestial River King, Ji Yang Yao in the Life and Death Realm, could kill that arrogant bull. Uncle Bison, that person also knows about my Ji clan, so he didn't dare to speak much in the restaurant. We don't need to. Slap. The brocade-robed man called Ji Zhengsheng hadn't finished his words when Ji Bison slapped him in the face again. Pig. Ji Bison pointed to Ji Zhengsheng and shouted, "You really are a pig. Didn't you see that he was looking for someone? He didn't make a move on your broken restaurant before because he found a clue about this place. The reason why he made a move on the named River Chamber of Commerce was because his clue ended here. If you don't believe me, just wait and see if that person returns to your broken restaurant. I'm sure that in the end, whether he finds it or not, he will return to Ji clan's restaurant at the East City bridgehead." Ji Zhengsheng felt stunned by these words and only spoke up after a long time. Then what should we do? What should we do? Immediately report this matter to the Celestial Lord, and at the same time, inform Ji clan's ancestor, named Descendant Celestial River King as soon as possible. Ji Bison spoke with an ugly expression. After Ning Cheng killed Fu Yinghe, the surrounding cultivators didn't even make any noise. Some of the cultivators, who didn't want to get involved, carefully retreated. Since Ning Cheng could kill Fu Yinghe, it showed that this strange cultivator's words about named River Chamber of Commerce no longer existing in named Descendant Celestial River were not nonsense, but an ironclad fact. With Fu Yinghe dead, named Descendant Celestial River would disappear without a trace even if he did anything. Ning Cheng cupped his fists towards the surrounding cultivators and said, "Friends, there were 3 cultivators who opened a winery here. But because of named River Chamber of Commerce's strength, these 3 people were driven away. If anyone knows the whereabouts of these 3 people, I will reward you with a middle-grade flight-type Dao artifact." While speaking, Ning Cheng waved his hand and threw out a middle-grade airship Dao artifact. At the same time, he asked Lu Yu to draw an image of Hellion Dai in the void. Chapter 7:15. For wealthy heavens mandate cultivators and even celestial bridge cultivators, although middle-grade flight-type Dao artifacts were precious, they were not to the point of going crazy over them. However, in this place, almost all rogue cultivators were not rich, and most of them were cultivators below the celestial bridge realm. When Ning Cheng took out a middle-grade flight-type Dao artifact, it immediately attracted the attention of many cultivators. At this moment, everyone started asking each other about the whereabouts of the original 3 people in this place. At this time, not to mention that most people did not know about it, even if they knew, they would not tell others. Ning Cheng's gaze swept through the crowd, and after half an incense stick worth of time, an old man with white hair and a white beard, with cultivation in the undead realm, stood up. He walked up to Ning Cheng and bowed before speaking, "Senior, although I heard some of the words of those three people, I'm not sure." "Whether you're sure or not, speak first." Ning Cheng said immediately. "Yes." The old man did not dare to hesitate. I was also nearby at that time. The two female cultivators were supporting a male cultivator with a sickly face. One of the female cultivators said that they should go to the ancient shadow temple. However, the male cultivator said that he definitely could not go to the temple in his current state. He also said that the cultivation of the two female cultivators was too low, and that they couldn't go alone. As for whether they went in or not, I'm not sure, because I didn't follow behind them. When did this happen? Ning Cheng asked in a deep voice. The old man quickly replied, nearly 3 months ago. It happened after their shop was occupied. Ning Cheng's gaze swept through the crowd again. Who else knows the exact news? No one in the crowd stood up to speak. In fact, among the cultivators here, who had the time to care about others? As for deceiving this powerhouse with a terrifying demonic pet, no one dared to even think about it. Seeing that no one knew anything about Ning Ruolan, Ning Cheng put the middle-grade Dao artifact into the hands of the old man. "This airship is yours." The old man took the airship in surprise and immediately spoke up, "I'm selling this flight-type weapon, the highest bidder wins." For him, the most important thing right now was not the flight-type weapon, but the celestial coins. Only with enough celestial coins could he buy medicinal pills. Moreover, this flight-type weapon still burned his hand. Ning Cheng did not care about it. He directly arranged an array formation over the ruins. Then a huge sign was erected in front of the array formation, Cheng Ruolan Materials. This sign was bigger than all the signs in the surrounding shops, but no one dared to say that this sign affected their business. Even the other 4 major chambers of commerce in named Descendant Celestial River did not dare to say that they were blocking the way at this time. Ning Cheng believed that as long as Ruolan came here, she would definitely see this sign. One look at this sign and they knew that he had come. In this place, only he and Ruolan knew about Cheng Ruolan's materials. "I'm going to the ancient shadow temple now. You can come with me." Ning Cheng looked back at Lu Yu and Dong Li, who had been following behind him. Lu Yu was a very meticulous person. She knew that if she followed Ning Cheng and received Ning Cheng's protection, it would not be an opportunity for her and Dong Li. If he wanted a lucky chance, he would have to leave a deeper impression in front of this senior Ning. Thinking of this, Lu Yu bowed and said, "Senior, Dong Li and I will stay here and wait for you. If Dong Li and I enter the sacred palace with low cultivation bases, we will only disturb you." Ning Cheng was just about to say, "Aren't you afraid of Ji Clan's revenge?" But when the words came to his mouth, he understood Lu Yu's meaning. Lu Yu wanted to stay here in case Ruolan and the others saw the sign and came back. It would be dangerous for her to stay here, but it would be equally dangerous for Ruolan to come back. She wanted to express her feelings to him. For Ruolan, she wasn't afraid of danger. "Alright, you can stay here. I'll leave a cave for you. When Ruolan comes back, crush the jade talisman immediately. If there's any danger, crush the jade talisman immediately." Ning Cheng took out a jade talisman and handed it to Lu Yu. At the same time, he brought out a cave within the original array formation. "You take care of this place. Master won't treat you badly." Chasing Bull also put on an act. "You stay here too." Ning Cheng glanced at Chasing Bull. He guessed that Ji Clan wouldn't take the initiative to attack. Besides, even if Ji Clan wanted to take action, Lu Yu could crush the jade talisman and he would have enough time to come back. In case Ruolan came back, Chasing Bull would take care of her. At least in terms of speed, Chasing Bull had the advantage. Chasing Bull didn't dare to refute Ning Cheng's words. Fortunately, there were many people here, so it didn't mind staying here. In fact, it even felt quite satisfied. When Ning Qing arrived at the entrance to the ancient Shadow Temple, a large blockade greeted him. For late-stage Fate State cultivators were standing in front of the only entrance to the barrier, clearly guarding it. What's going on? Ning Qing looked at the entrance in doubt and asked. The leading Heaven's Mandate cultivator respectfully cupped his fists towards Ning Qing and said, "Friend, all cultivators who enter the ancient Shadow Temple must pay 10,000 purple coins. This is the rule set by the Celestial Lord." The four of them stood guard at the entrance of the ancient Shadow Temple and naturally knew about what happened not long ago. Ning Cheng's companion beast had killed named River Chamber of Commerce's Association head Fu Yinghe. The four of them combined couldn't even withstand a single hoof of that companion beast. So how could they dare to be rude to Ning Qing? At this time, many cultivators followed Ning Qing to see if Ning Qing would pay the fee before entering the entrance. More people hoped that Ning Qing wouldn't pay the fee and open the entrance. That way, everyone could follow behind him and make a fortune. 10,000 purple coins might not mean much to Ning Qing, but for ordinary cultivators, even after countless years, they might not be able to save up 10,000 purple coins. Even if these cultivators wanted to enter the ancient Shadow Temple, they might not be able to do so. Ning Qing guessed that the purpose of setting up the entrance fee was to reduce the number of cultivators entering, and at the same time, to increase some extra wealth. Some of the cultivators who obtained good things and wanted to come out of this place would most likely suffer another layer of exploitation. Thinking about the cultivators who came from afar, how could they not go in when they arrived at the entrance? Even if the entrance fee was a bit more expensive, those cultivators who came from afar would still find a way to take it out. However, Ning Qing started to worry. If this entrance fee was set up a long time ago, then Rulan would definitely not go in. The three of them had 30,000 purple coins, and relying on a small restaurant wouldn't be enough to earn so many celestial coins. When was this entrance fee set up? Ning Qing asked as he thought about it. The cultivator who spoke to Ning Qing replied with even more respect, more than 2 months ago, under the orders of the Celestial Lord. This fellow had mentioned the Celestial Lord several times to let Ning Qing vaguely understand that it was the second Revenant Star's Celestial Lord. You can't treat this place as the named River Chamber of Commerce. The Celestial Lord you spoke of is the second Revenant Star's Celestial Lord, Ji Yoji. Ning Qing's tone turned cold. Sooner or later, he would come knocking on Ji Clan's door. But now that Ji Clan had forced Rulan to go to some unknown place, the anger in his heart had already started to burn. That's right. The Heaven's Mandate cultivator gave out a sigh and finally brought up the Celestial Lord's name in a euphemistic manner. But then he felt something wrong. What was wrong? That's right, the cultivator in front of him directly addressed the Celestial Lord's name without even a shred of respect. Just as he figured out the problem, Ning Qing gave a cold snort and spoke up, "You don't need to worry about this place anymore. From now on, there will be no entrance fee, and anyone can freely enter and exit this place. Since it's an ownerless mystic realm, it belongs to everyone." The other Heaven's Mandate cultivator suddenly felt anxious and spoke up, "How can it be ownerless? Since this mystic realm appeared on the second Revenant Star, then it naturally belongs to Sir Celestial Lord." Ning Qing chuckled, "Since it appeared on the second Revenant Star, then it belongs to Sir Celestial Lord. This Sir Celestial Lord sure is awe-inspiring. Now that I'm the closest to the entrance to this mystic realm, I declare this ancient Shadow Temple to be mine. You." The Heaven's Mandate cultivator felt so angry at Ning Qing that he didn't know what to say for a while. However, Ning Qing didn't wait for him to speak at all. He raised his hand and slapped the 4 cultivators, sending them flying. The next moment, Ning Qing brought out the Nirvana Spear. From this, one could see how overbearing Ji Clan was. They even set up a fee to enter the mystic realm. The Nirvana Spear brought out a series of spear shadows. Catcha, catcha. Ning Qing destroyed all the restrictions set up at the entrance with ease. In just a few breaths, the entrance to the ancient Shadow Temple no longer faced any obstacles. Anyone could enter the ancient Shadow Temple from here without having to pay a single celestial coin. The crowd of onlookers immediately stirred up and cheered. At the same time, no one wanted to fall behind and rushed towards the ancient Shadow Temple. Ning Cheng stood at the entrance and spoke up, "Everyone, if you see her, please help her. After coming out in the future, I will definitely reward you handsomely." Ning Cheng casually drew out Ning Rulan's image. He didn't dare to say that Rulan was his younger sister. If it was just an ordinary friend, others might help out because of some benefits. But if it was a relative, who knew if someone would try to harm Rulan because of favoritism towards Ji clan? "Many thanks, Senior. We will remember." The cultivators who went in all promised. This promise didn't require much effort. If they saw someone, they could help out and form a good relationship with such a powerful senior. Every cultivator who rushed into the temple cupped their fists towards Ning Cheng to express their gratitude. Ning Cheng also didn't hesitate and rushed into the temple. Ning Cheng wasn't familiar with the ancient Shadow Temple, but the name sounded strange. He felt afraid that Rulan would enter the ancient Shadow Temple. With Rulan's cultivation, it would definitely be dangerous. The road into the ancient Shadow Temple was paved with bluestone, and every step made a creaking sound. Even Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness couldn't penetrate the surrounding scenery. Ning Cheng had only walked a dozen meters when he felt an emptiness around him. He immediately understood that this was a teleportation array. The ancient Shadow Temple wasn't just outside the east gate of covered snow city, but it wasn't the ancient Shadow Temple. Ning Cheng landed on the ground and found that the surroundings didn't look like a real hall. However, his spiritual consciousness couldn't penetrate up, down, left, or right. He didn't immediately go in to check the situation. Instead, he looked back to see how to get out. Chapter 7:16. Behind him was a bluestone paved road, the same as when he came in. Ning Cheng breathed in a sigh of relief. He confirmed that this was indeed a transmission channel. When he came back, as long as he stepped on the bluestone, he would be able to teleport out. Only now did Ning Cheng feel in the mood to observe his surroundings. The surroundings were empty. It was as if there was nothing in the square instead of a hall. However, Ning Cheng quickly determined that this was indeed a hall, without the slightest starry sky aura around it. This hall seemed to have no end, and he couldn't even tell the height of the roof. At this time, cultivators kept coming in, and these cultivators weren't too far away from Ning Cheng. The cultivators who came in quickly dispersed and rushed into the depths of the hall. Ning Cheng avoided these cultivators coming in, and arranged a concealed transfer array not far from the exit, before finally entering the depths of the spacious hall. After moving forward for a few dozen miles, Ning Cheng once again saw restrictions and array formations in front of him. However, the restrictions and array formations had already fallen apart, and some of the scenes inside the restrictions appeared in Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness. There were many bluestone passageways, pillars with no visible top, and a dried-up starry sky spirit spring. Everything showed that this place was indeed a hall, and his current location was just the periphery of the hall, or rather, the public square at the entrance of the hall. Ning Cheng didn't even need to break open the restrictions himself. He just randomly chose a gap in the restrictions and entered the hall. Although many cultivators came in, they scattered in this place and couldn't be seen at all. After entering this place, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness forcibly penetrated it, and this time, he could see things more clearly. There were all kinds of forks in the surroundings, and between these forks, there were some small halls. These halls came in all shapes and sizes, and each hall had its own restrictions. However, most of these defensive restrictions had already been broken, and there was nothing inside. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness couldn't penetrate any further. Ning Cheng simply chose a fork in the road, and soon met a few other cultivators who also chose this fork in the road. Because Ning Cheng's speed was too fast, in just a short time, he had left these cultivators behind. Along the way, Ning Cheng saw more than once cultivators joining forces to attack the restrictions. Most of the restrictions fell apart, leaving behind a variety of things. These things included various weapons, cultivation methods, and even some starry sky spiritual grass gardens. However, there were also some restrictions that were blasted open and there was nothing inside, which meant that they had wasted their efforts. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept through the things inside the restrictions, but few of them caught his eye. If this was all the ancient Shadow Temple had, then Ning Cheng felt that it was unworthy of its name. However, he didn't come here for the ancient Shadow Temple, but to find Rulan. As such, he didn't care about the quality of the things here. His only worry was that he did not know which path Rulan would take if she came in. In the depths of another passage within the ancient Shadow Temple, a large group of people gathered around a swamp. To be precise, this large group of people was surrounding a certain area in the middle of the swamp, and they were still attacking. Even Ning Cheng didn't expect that the ancient Shadow Temple would have a swamp. In fact, there was indeed a large swamp here. Moreover, the swamp here was different from other places. It was as if someone had specially planned it. There were some paths in the middle of the swamp, which intersected with each other, dividing the swamp into small compartments. This large group of people surrounded one of the compartments in the swamp, which was sealed with restrictions. Even the restrictions couldn't lock down the strong starry sky essence chi that leaked out of it. That's right, this small area was a small perpetual moon pill pond. Although the perpetual moon pills next to the pill pond had been dyed black by the swamp sludge, the perpetual moon pills in the middle still looked crystal clear, indicating that they were high-quality perpetual moon pills. This perpetual moon pill pond contained at least tens of thousands of perpetual moon pills. This small perpetual moon pill pond was sealed with restrictions, and the cultivators surrounding it were all attacking it. From this, one could imagine that once this perpetual moon pill pond broke, the surrounding cultivators would immediately rush in. Little Dai, you attack a place with me. That way, the effects will be better. A yellow-robed female cultivator said to the green-robed female cultivator next to her. And, I know, elder sister Rulan. The green-robed female cultivator had just replied when she heard another sound transmission, Little Dai, don't attack with all your strength. This restriction is about to break. When everyone rushes in, we have to save some strength to grab the perpetual moon pills. Remember not to be greedy, grab some and then leave. Moreover, we don't need to grab the crystal clear perpetual moon pills in the middle. We just need to grab some at the edge. This time, the green-robed female cultivator did not speak. She understood elder sister Rulan's meaning. These two female cultivators were Ning Rulan and Helian Dai, who had entered the ancient Shadow Temple. Because Helian Mingzhi was seriously injured, he could only hide in a secluded place. Helian Dai and Ning Rulan had risked their lives to come to the ancient Shadow Temple to obtain some cultivation resources. It's just that their cultivations were too low, and no one wanted to team up with them. As such, the two of them could only follow behind others and pick up things that others did not want. Sure enough, Ning Rulan's words did not last long before the small restriction over the swamp shattered with a "catcha" sound. Even richer starry sky essence chi rushed up, and the surrounding cultivators almost immediately swarmed in. Ning Rulan and Helian Dai also rushed in. They had a relatively good mentality and did not try to snatch the pure white perpetual moon pills in the middle, which contained rich starry sky essence chi and did not contain any impurities. The two of them just grabbed a handful at the edge before rushing out in an instant. In fact, compared to the speed of the two of them, the others were much faster. Fortunately, Ning Rulan's idea was correct. If they had tried to snatch the pure and rich perpetual moon pills in the middle, they might have ended up with nothing. Even if the two of them grabbed some of the black perpetual moon pills polluted by the swamp, they would only have one chance. As the two of them retreated to the back, the perpetual moon pills in this small swamp had already been snatched away. Ning Rulan and Helian Dai had accurately positioned themselves and managed to grab some. Some of the cultivators with higher cultivation than Ning Rulan and Helian Dai wanted to snatch the pure white perpetual moon pills in the middle, which contained rich starry sky essence chi. However, they ended up with nothing. As for the high-quality perpetual moon pills in the middle, more than a dozen experts in Heaven's Mandate realm had already divided them up. Little Dai, let's go. Ning Rulan knew that even if she and Helian Dai managed to grab some of the black perpetual moon pills, someone would definitely notice them. Elder sister Rulan, I just grabbed 60 perpetual moon pills. Helian Dai happily sent a sound transmission to Ning Rulan. She couldn't help feeling excited. Ning Rulan also felt excited in her heart and also sent a sound transmission, I also grabbed 83, let's go. Wait. Two cultivators with celestial shatterer cultivation stopped Ning Rulan and Helian Dai. One of them was a late-stage celestial shatterer male cultivator, while the other was a middle-stage celestial shatterer female cultivator. Previously, the two of them wanted to snatch the white perpetual moon pills in the middle. Unfortunately, they did not have enough strength and ended up with nothing. Ning Rulan looked at the two of them with vigilance. What's the matter? Why did you push me when we were trying to snatch the perpetual moon pills? The male cultivator asked with a black face and an unhappy tone. Ning Rulan knew that the other party wanted to find fault with them and could only speak up, I did not bump into you just now. My companion and I entered the pill pond in a completely different direction from you. It was impossible for us to bump into each other. The people around immediately understood that these two cultivators, a man and a woman, had not managed to obtain the perpetual moon pills and wanted to blackmail them. No one would believe that two celestial novice cultivators would dare to push a celestial shatterer cultivator to snatch the perpetual moon pills. Moreover, they did not dare to make a move against those with high cultivation. As such, they could only look for the two celestial novice cultivators with the lowest cultivation. Although they understood the situation, no one would come forward to help if there were no benefits involved. In this place, it was better to avoid unnecessary trouble. As such warm-hearted cultivators were few and far between. What do you want? Helian Dai naturally understood what was going on. The female cultivator frowned and glanced at Helian Dai and Ning Rulan before speaking. The two of us could have grabbed at least 200 or 300 perpetual moon pills, but because of your push, we did not manage to grab a single perpetual moon pill. We did not manage to grab even a single perpetual moon pill. How about this, you compensate us with 200 perpetual moon pills. I don't care about the quality of your perpetual moon pills, as long as they are perpetual moon pills. Helian Dai's expression suddenly turned ugly. Big sister and I only have a few dozen perpetual moon pills, yet you want us to compensate you with 200 pills, why don't you just rob us? At this moment, 4 more cultivators came over. Apparently, they had seen many people here and wanted to know if there were any good things here. Really? So, you should have pushed us a little. Brother Xiao Kuei, I won't speak. Please help us. The celestial shatterer cultivator did not continue to pressure Ning Rulan. Instead, he cupped his fists towards a late-stage Heaven's Mandate cultivator next to him. The Heaven's Mandate cultivator named Xiao Kuei showed a faint smile. What else is there to say? Naturally, it's compensation. If you block my path to riches, then it would not be as simple as compensating for the pills. With that, the Heaven's Mandate cultivator's murderous aura surged out, causing Ning Rulan and Helian Dai to unconsciously take a few steps back. The cultivators next to them understood why the celestial shatterer cultivator wanted to find someone to take charge. That is, to tell others that he knew a Heaven's Mandate cultivator, and that the people around him should not meddle in this. Especially the few cultivators who had just arrived, not to interfere. I'll compensate you, I only have 30 perpetual moon pills in total. Helian Dai endured the bitterness in her heart and stretched out her hand. In her palm were more than 30 black perpetual moon pills. After experiencing being driven away several times, she already knew what to choose. But even so, she still hid more than 30 perpetual moon pills. Chapter 7:17. If it blocks your road to riches, then how do you plan to deal with it? This Father Gong Xiuzhu doesn't believe it. If you have any means, then let's see if this Gong Xiuzhu can take it. A fierce-looking male cultivator stood up and ridiculed this heaven's mandate cultivator named Xiaokui with disdain. After that, he brought out his weapon, apparently ready to fight at any time. This cultivator named Xiaokui felt surprised. He did not expect that someone would stand up for two celestial novice cultivators. He had just spoken up for the male and female cultivators he knew. It was because he knew the celestial Shatterer male cultivator's elder brother, who was also a late-stage Heaven's Mandate cultivator. If he had to fight against other Heaven's Mandate cultivators for the two of them, he would not be willing to do so. This senior, the two of them deliberately blocked my way to snatch the perpetual moon pills. Therefore, elder brother Xiaokui spoke up for me. The celestial Shatterer male cultivator saw that something was wrong and quickly came out to explain. He also did not expect that a Heaven's Mandate cultivator would stand up for Ning Rulan and Helian Dai. Really? Since I blocked your road to riches today, what can you do to me? Gong Xiuzhu spoke up with even more disdain. The few cultivators who came a moment ago all had Heaven's Mandate cultivation. They also felt a little strange. Why did this Gong Xiuzhu, who usually did not care about anything, suddenly become so righteous at this time? Did he take a fancy to these two beautiful female cultivators? However, when they saw the two female cultivators, especially Ning Rulan's appearance, they immediately understood. Everyone, if anyone sees her, please lend a hand. After coming out in the future, I will definitely reward you handsomely. These were the words spoken by the senior before they entered the temple. Wasn't this female cultivator in a yellow robe the one that the senior wanted them to help? Humph, this one is not a person who is afraid of trouble. This Heaven's Mandate cultivator named Xiaokui did not intend to stand up for them. It was just that Gong Xiuzhu was too aggressive. The one blocking your road to riches is not friend Gong Xiuzhu. I, Ban Kong, am not convinced and will also block your road to riches. Today, if you dare to touch even a hair on these two junior apprentice sisters, I, Ban Kong, will kill you. If you don't believe me, you can try. Another Heaven's Mandate cultivator stood up. And me, Huai Yushan, I, Bei Junyi. In the blink of an eye, the four Heaven's Mandate cultivators who had just arrived all stood up to support Ning Rulan and Helian Dai. Not to mention Ning Rulan and Helian Dai who couldn't understand what was going on, even the rest of the cultivators couldn't understand what was going on. It had only been 2 or 3 months since they entered the ancient Shadow Temple. How did helping others suddenly become so popular? Why are the Heaven's Mandate realm cultivators standing up for these two female cultivators? Ning Rulan quickly stepped forward and cupped her fists in a respectful manner before speaking, many thanks to the several seniors for making the decision. In fact, these two people just wanted to extort our things. She didn't know what was going on, but she knew that a Fate State senior had stepped forward to help, and she had to thank him. Is that so? Bei Junyi felt that he was the last to stand up. This time, he definitely couldn't fall behind. He was the first to rush to the male cultivator who blackmailed Ning Rulan and Helian Dai and slap him. This male cultivator didn't expect that the other party would make a move just like that. Even if he thought of it, he couldn't resist it. The difference between a celestial Shatterer cultivator and a Heaven's Mandate cultivator was just too big. Slap. With just a slap, the celestial Shatterer male cultivator flew dozens of meters away from Bei Junyi. He spat out a mouthful of blood in the air before falling directly into the swamp. Bei Junyi didn't intend to kill him, otherwise, this slap would have been more than enough to kill the celestial Shatterer male cultivator. Wan Xiaokui's expressions turned ugly. With a snort, he turned around and left. Staying here would only bring shame to himself. He couldn't beat the 4 people here by himself. With Wan Xiaokue gone, how could these 2 celestial shatterer male and female cultivators dare to speak even half a word of nonsense? As for blackmailing, they definitely wouldn't dare. The celestial shatterer male cultivator climbed up from the swamp and pulled the female cultivator to apologize before quickly retreating. With 4 heavens mandate cultivators helping 2 celestial and novice female cultivators, no one would dare to come out and take care of this matter unless they were stupid. The rest of the cultivators quickly left. In just a short time, only the 4 newly arrived heavens mandate cultivators along with Ning Rulan and Helian Dai remained. Helian Dai also quickly came up to thank them. If not for these 4 heavens mandate cultivators, they wouldn't have even a single perpetual moon pill left. However, she still felt a little uneasy. She didn't know any of these 4 people, so why would they help them? You're welcome. This is what we should do. Gongxiu Zhu, the leader, naturally felt happy to help Ning Rulan. He waved his hand and spoke. Should do. Ning Rulan and Helian Dai felt even more puzzled. At this moment, a violent explosion erupted in the distance. Extremely rich starry sky essence qi soared into the sky. Even Gongxiu Zhu and the others, who stood far away, could clearly feel it. Something good came out. Ban Kang's eyes lit up. He then turned to the others and said, "Let's go and have a look." Even without Ban Kang's words, the other 3 heavens mandate cultivators also wanted to go and have a look. Gongxiu Zhu eagerly glanced at Ning Rulan. Since they saved Ning Rulan, they naturally couldn't ask for benefits in person. However, Hua Yushan spoke up, 2 junior apprentice sisters, there must be something good coming out of that place. Why don't you come with us? Ning Rulan had been saved by these 4 people and felt a little nervous. Now that these 4 people wanted them to come with them, Ning Rulan naturally didn't want to. Besides, with their cultivation, even if they went, they wouldn't get any benefits. Thinking of this, Ning Rulan bowed again with cupped fists and said, "Our cultivation is low, and we're about to go out. We won't go with you." "Okay, we'll go first. We will definitely visit your store in the future." Gongxiu Zhu quickly spoke up. Cheng Rulan's material store was located outside the ancient Shadow Temple. Once they went out in the future, they would definitely meet the senior who had asked them for help. Therefore, even if Ning Rulan didn't come with them, they would still get some benefits in the future. Seeing the 4 heavens mandate cultivators really leave, Ning Rulan and Helian Dai felt a little uncomfortable. Helian Dai asked in doubt, "Big sister Rulan, why are they so kind? Did they come to our restaurant to drink before they knew us? But our restaurant doesn't have any. Besides, our restaurant rarely has any seniors in Heaven's mandate realm." Ning Rulan also frowned and couldn't understand what was going on. Only after a while did she speak up, "No matter what, let's get out of here and stay away from this place." "Okay." Helian Dai quickly responded and quickly retreated with Ning Rulan. "Brother Zhu, why didn't you just say that the senior entrusted us with help?" Ban Kong asked after the 4 people left Ning Rulan's side. "You're really stupid. Everyone knows that we saved those 2 female cultivators. Once those 2 female cultivators go out and talk about it, it would become even clearer. If we deliberately pointed out that we received a request from that senior, it would weaken our friendship. Now that we pretend that we don't know anything, with that senior's generosity, do you think he would be able to give us anything less?" Gongxiu Zhu spoke with disdain. "Yes, Brother Zhu is right. If we deliberately pointed it out, others would think that we're trying to force them to repay us. Now that we pretend that we don't know anything, that senior might give us even more." Hua Yushan immediately praised. Bei Junyi, who followed behind, also spoke up, "Then after we go to that place in front, we'll immediately go out." The other 3 people looked at Bei Junyi speechlessly. It was obvious. If not for the starry sky essence qi in front of them being too rich, they would have already thought of sending Ning Rulan and Ning Rulan out. Ning Cheng had already stopped. In front of him was a primal chaos mist. His spiritual consciousness could only penetrate a few dozen feet in front of him. The mist was filled with a violent aura. It felt as if anyone who entered this mist would be torn to pieces by the violent aura. He didn't expect to appear in this place after passing through the blue stone road filled with restrictions. Although Ning Cheng felt sure that Ning Rulan wouldn't enter this place, he couldn't help but feel curious and entered the mist filled with violent aura. Terrifying tearing and blade lights penetrated through Ning Cheng's skin. Even with Ning Cheng's starry sky body, he could still feel bursts of pain. From this, one could tell that this mist was not only highly toxic but also contained powerful attacks. If an ordinary cultivator came in, the mist would most likely tear them apart immediately. Just as Ning Cheng was about 100 feet away, a huge gate blocked his way. Above the gate were 4 words, Ancient Shadow Temple. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath. So this was the real entrance to the Ancient Shadow Temple. The place in front of him didn't look like it at all. This Ancient Shadow Temple truly looked like a shadow. Ning Cheng tried to use his spiritual consciousness to penetrate the gate, but his spiritual consciousness couldn't penetrate it at all. He could even hear the whimpers of night owls. These whimpers seeped out of the gate and felt extremely horrifying. This gate was surrounded by a grade 9 starry sky array formation, or even a starry sky array formation that surpassed grade 9. Ning Cheng understood that with his current ability, it wouldn't be easy to open the gate to the Ancient Shadow Temple. Moreover, Ning Cheng could tell from the surrounding array formations that someone had come here not long ago and attacked the gate. However, it didn't open. From the looks of it, the person who came here must have gone out to find help, Ning Cheng thought to himself. Indeed, with the defensive array formations and restrictions around the Ancient Shadow Temple, ordinary cultivators wouldn't be able to open it. Ning Cheng didn't try to continue attacking the gate. With his cultivation and proficiency in array formations, if he wanted to go in, it would open after a long time. For Ning Cheng, the most important thing right now wasn't to enter the Ancient Shadow Temple. Ning Cheng retreated. He knew that with his own strength, it would be extremely difficult to find a person in the Ancient Shadow Temple, where one's spiritual consciousness couldn't penetrate. Instead, he might as well retreat to the entrance and wait. He would then inform the cultivators who entered the Ancient Shadow Temple that no matter who met Ning Rulan, they should let her out. This way, it would be much more efficient than searching for her by himself. Fortunately, he had already set up a teleportation array at the entrance. As such, he didn't need to retreat at all. As long as he brought out the teleportation array flags, he could return to the original entrance. After throwing out a few teleportation array flags, Ning Cheng found himself wrapped in several teleportation array lights. In just a few breaths, he returned to the entrance again. Ning Cheng hadn't even walked out of the teleportation array when he saw 2 female cultivators rushing towards the exit. One of them looked very familiar. Rulan. Ning Cheng held back the excitement in his heart and called out loudly. Chapter 7:18. Ning Rulan suddenly stopped and subconsciously looked around before murmuring, "My big brother is calling me." If Hellion Dai hadn't also heard the call, she would have suspected that Ning Rulan was so nervous that she was hallucinating. "Is it really your big brother calling you?" Hellion Dai asked with a trembling voice. She had heard Ning Rulan talk about her big brother more than once. "Rulan." Ning Cheng called out again. He had already reached the life and death realm. In terms of strength, he didn't fear even eternal-level experts. But now that he saw Rulan, every step he took felt extremely heavy. It was the kind of heavy burden that came from worrying about the deepest parts of the world, and then suddenly seeing her again. "Big brother, it's really you." Ning Rulan cried and rushed towards Ning Cheng. She had forgotten that she had already passed the age of crying. Living in this strange place, that kind of oppression, that kind of loneliness, that kind of suffering, made her hide everything. Seeing her big brother Ning Cheng today, she couldn't bear it anymore. Next time, she would never be so capricious and go out alone to find her big brother. Ning Cheng reached out and hugged Ning Rulan, who had just rushed over, with a sour look in his eyes. He could feel the hardships Rulan had gone through over the years. It was definitely the real hardships. When he left, Rulan's resources were enough for her to cultivate to the Crucible Transformation realm, or even the Plundering Life realm. With Rulan's qualifications, she was still lingering in the Celestial Novice realm. How could one describe the hardships? Ning Rulan hugged Ning Cheng tightly. She felt afraid that if she let go, her big brother would disappear again. Even so, she still felt that it was a little unreal, as if she was hallucinating. "Are you big brother Ning Cheng?" Seeing the reunion of brother and sister, Helian Dai felt her nose turn sour. Within the boundless starry sky, how difficult would it be for two cultivators from a low-level interface to reunite? Ning Cheng patted Ning Rulan's shoulder and nodded to Helian Dai. "Yes, I'm Ning Cheng. You should be Sister Helian Dai, right? Thank you and your grandfather for taking care of Rulan all these years. You know about it?" Helian Dai looked at Ning Cheng in surprise. "Well, I asked about it before coming in to find you." Ning Cheng gently caressed Ning Rulan's hair. Even if Rulan grew older, in his eyes, she was still his little sister who needed his care. Ning Rulan looked up and spoke with tears all over her face. "Big brother, am I dreaming, am I?" "No, from now on you will be together with this big brother. No one will ever bully you again." Ning Cheng wiped the tears from Ning Rulan's face with his hands. "Well, let's go to the Orchid Burrow Celestial River in the future. I heard from others that the Orchid Burrow Celestial River has many mystic realms, and the starry sky essence chi there is much denser than here." As Ning Rulan spoke until here, she seemed to have thought of something and suddenly took out 2 pitch-black medicinal pills from her ring and put them in Ning Cheng's hands. She then showed a smile and spoke, "Big brother, these are the perpetual moon pills I obtained from the ancient Shadow Temple. There are 83 of them, you can use them for cultivation. When your cultivation is high enough, no one will bully us anymore." 83 perpetual moon pills, for ordinary celestial novice cultivators, it was a wealth that they could never buy in their lifetime. Ning Cheng looked at Rulan's smiling face and then at the 83 perpetual moon pills in his hands. His nose turned sour. He had never seen such ugly perpetual moon pills before. He had never seen such dark perpetual moon pills before. He had more than 1 billion perpetual moon pills in his ring, each of which contained rich starry sky essence chi. Moreover, they were many times purer than these perpetual moon pills. Even if he gave them to others, it would not be just these. Moreover, some of these 83 perpetual moon pills still had some sludge on them, which showed where these perpetual moon pills came from. "I'm sorry, Rulan." Ning Cheng suddenly felt as if something was blocking his heart. In this starry sky world, where human emotions ran cold. What did these 83 muddy perpetual moon pills mean to his little sister? They must be the most precious thing on her, yet she took them all out the moment she saw him. Why? Because he was Rulan's big brother. It was a familial love that could not be erased no matter how much time and space passed. Looking at Rulan's ring, which he had given to her in the past, Ning Cheng understood Rulan's difficulties. Ning Cheng took out a jade box and put the 83 dark perpetual moon pills into the jade box. Holding back the sourness in his eyes, he spoke, "Rulan, these are the best medicinal pills I've ever obtained. I will definitely keep them. Big brother, don't keep them. After we go out, you should find a place to cultivate and use up these perpetual moon pills." Ning Rulan quickly spoke up. She could not calm down when she saw her big brother's excitement. It was as if she could not wait for her big brother to advance to the eternal realm. "Big brother Ning Cheng, I also have 60 perpetual moon pills here. I'll also give them to you." Helian Dai held out a handful of similarly dark medicinal pills with both hands. Ning Cheng looked at Helian Dai in a daze. He finally understood why his little sister stayed here with Helian Dai. This girl did not have the scheming nature of starry sky cultivators. Instead, her thoughts were written all over her face. She really wanted these medicinal pills to help Rulan's big brother and protect them. Big brother Ning Cheng, why don't you want my medicinal pills? Seeing Ning Cheng looking at her and not taking the medicinal pills, Helian Dai's face turned a little red. Ning Cheng quickly took out another jade box and put Helian Dai's perpetual moon pills into the jade box before speaking, "Little sister Dai, you and Rulan will be my little sister from now on. No one will ever bully you again." Even if she knew that Ning Cheng was just trying to comfort her, Helian Dai still spoke up with excitement, "Thank you, big brother Ning Cheng." Ning Rulan finally came out of Ning Cheng's arms, but still held on to Ning Cheng's hand. She had been separated from her big brother for too long. She did not want to taste this feeling of loss again. In this world, she only had one relative, and that was her big brother. Even if she had to lose her life, she did not want anything to happen to her big brother. "Rulan, little Dai, let's go out. We'll come back to the ancient shadow temple later." Ning Cheng spoke up in a soft voice. The moment he saw Rulan, he had already made up his mind to settle in Second Revenant Star. Second Revenant Star would become his planet. As for Ji Clan, since they dared to rob Rulan's restaurant, then they shouldn't blame him for forcibly occupying Second Revenant Star. If Ji Yangyao made him unhappy, he would even take the name Descendant Celestial River. Did the Celestial River King have to be appointed by the Inheritance or Striking Order Heavenly Emperor? Then let's start with me, Ning Cheng, and find someone who doesn't inherit. The Ji family must be blind to provoke his sister, Rulan. Big brother. Ning Rulan hesitated before speaking, "I threw away Grey Toot Toot." In fact, Ning Cheng knew that Grey Toot Toot was not together with Ning Rulan. He also did not see any spiritual beast bag on Rulan. However, he did not ask about Grey Toot Toot. Since the spiritual beast bag was not with Rulan, then Grey Toot Toot was definitely not here. To him, it was fine as long as Rulan was fine. As long as you are all right, it's fine. Was Grey Toot Toot taken away by someone else? Ning Cheng softly comforted her. He understood Rulan very well. If he was not by Rulan's side, then Grey Toot Toot, which he had left behind for Rulan, would definitely be pampered by Rulan as if it was her life. With Grey Toot Toot's temperament, he would definitely not take the initiative to leave Rulan. Now that Grey Toot Toot was not here, there was only one possibility: it was snatched away by someone else. No. Ning Rulan shook her head. Grey Toot Toot saw that I didn't have enough cultivation resources, so it took the initiative to go out and look for cultivation resources. In the first few times, it often found some good things. But once, Grey Toot Toot and I went to a barren mountain to look for some starry sky spiritual grasses. Grey Toot Toot went missing there. Later, I went to look for it many times, but I couldn't find it. Grey Toot Toot never came back. After saying that, Ning Rulan lowered her head and spoke in a low tone. Ning Cheng patted Rulan's shoulder, "Don't worry about it. After we settle down in Covered Snow City, I'll accompany you to look for it." "Big brother Ning Cheng, we can't live in Covered Snow City right now. The land there is much more expensive than in Descendant City." Helian Dai quickly spoke up from the side. Ning Cheng smiled, "Covered Snow City's land price will soon drop." Outside the ancient Shadow Temple, at the entrance of Cheng Rulan Materials, 2 men and 1 woman looked at the bull in front of them with a strange expression. They had come here to look for Ning Rulan, but this bull had repeatedly questioned them. "Among the 3 of you, one is called Zhang Qian, one is called Li Lingfan, and the other is called Luo Zian. Did I hear it wrong? What evidence do you have?" Chasing Bull even took out a wooden stool and sat down, looking very funny. Li Lingfan felt speechless. Why did one need to have evidence for their names? He cupped his fists again and said, Senior Spirit Beast did not hear it wrong. The three of us are friends with Ning Rulan and come from the same place. This time, we came here to look for Rulan. Ning Rulan, I know. Don't tell me that the three of you don't have a place to stay and saw that my shop is in a good location. So, you came here because you know Ning Rulan, right? Chasing Bull thought that it had seen through the trio's tricks and spoke with an affirmative tone. Li Lingfan and the other two suddenly froze. If they said no, then the three of them truly had no place to go. That's why they came here. But if they said yes, then they had never thought of looking for Ning Rulan. The location of your shop is indeed good, but this king came here today to ask for your position. A cold voice arrived, and a man with a royal headband landed outside Cheng Rulan's material. A powerful imposing aura rushed over, and Chasing Bull immediately stood up. It couldn't bear such a powerful aura. Who are you? Do you want to make life difficult for this old bull? Orchid Burrow Celestial River King. Lu Yu, who stood behind Chasing Bull, suddenly trembled. She was too familiar with this man in front of her. With a big nose and small eyes, who else could it be but Orchid Burrow King's Lan Yanlang? Orchid Burrow Celestial River King stared at Lu Yu and laughed, You sisters are very good. Very good. You can even play a Celestial River King like me in the palm of your hands. Admirable. Do you like wild men so much? I will find thousands of men to serve you. Huh, Brother Orchid Burrow, long time no see. You came to my named descendant Celestial River this time, but you didn't even drink a cup of wine. It's really not nice. Another laugh arrived, and a gray figure also landed in front of Cheng Rulan's material. Named descendant Celestial River King. Someone in the crowd whispered in surprise. The noisy cultivators in the surroundings suddenly turned silent. With two Celestial River Kings appearing at the same time, wouldn't it be equivalent to courting death? Li Lingfan and the other two broke out in cold sweat. Why did two Celestial River Kings suddenly appear? Moreover, did Orchid Burrow Celestial River King seem to have a conflict with the people inside Cheng Rulan's material? Chapter 719. So, it's Brother G. I came here in a hurry. I had planned to visit Brother G afterwards, but I didn't expect to disturb Brother G. Please forgive me. Lilan Yanlang stood up and spoke with cupped fists. However, his tone was not as enthusiastic as named descendant Celestial River King Ji Yangyao. Ji Yangyao did not seem to care about the tone of the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King and still spoke with a smile. In any case, since Brother Orchid Burrow is here, let me play the host. Orchid Burrow Celestial River King stared at Lu Yu with a cold gaze and spoke without any hesitation, I came here to find someone. I would have left as soon as I found that person. It's just that the person I'm looking for has protection, and this place is not bad, so I suddenly don't want to leave. I want to stay here and do some business. As a Celestial River King, he naturally was not an idiot. The fact that he knew that Lu Yu was here meant that someone had snitched on him. Now that he had come here, Ji Yangyao had followed him here. Most of the informants were Ji Yangyao. However, he was very puzzled. He had seen this place before, and there were no extraordinary people here. Why would Ji Yangyao drag him along? If he captured Lu Yu and sent her to the Orchid Burrow Celestial River, he might have felt even more grateful. Ji Yangyao laughed, these are all trivial matters. I had originally intended to invite Brother Lilan. I found a really good place in the ancient Shadow Temple, but I'm not strong enough. Therefore, I'm going to find a few friends to go in with me. That's not a problem. Let's talk about it after I take this person away. Orchid Burrow Celestial River King raised his hand and punched towards the defensive array formation arranged by Ning Cheng. Chasing Bull bore the brunt and spat out a blade light from its mouth. Boom! With a loud explosion, Chasing Bull's blade light shattered into nothingness under the imposing aura of the punch. A powerful backlash erupted, and Chasing Bull was sent flying. It crashed into the merchant house's Dharma treasure in the defensive formation. Lu Yu and Dong Li rushed over and helped Chasing Bull up. Ha! Ji Yangyao frowned as he looked at Chasing Bull and the defensive array that Orchid Burrow Celestial River King had cracked open. He had previously obtained news that an extremely powerful demonic bull had arrived in covered Snow City. This demonic bull had easily killed named River Chamber of Commerce's president Fu Yinghe. Since the demonic bull could easily kill Fu Yinghe, its strength was definitely not lower than Ji Yangyao's. It was precisely because of this that he roped in Lilan Yanlang to help. But that wasn't the case at all. Although Lilan Yanlang had advanced to the life and death realm, his true strength was still slightly inferior to him. How could he possibly injure this demonic bull with one punch? If not for the defensive array blocking it, this punch would have been able to kill the demon bull. However, this defensive array was not simple. The one who set up this defensive array was definitely a formidable array king. Hurry up and call master. After Chasing Bull got up, the first thing it said was to yell at Lu Yu, asking her to call Ning Cheng. Ah, senior. Lu Yu had just taken out the jade talisman when she saw Ning Cheng walking over with Ning Rulan and Helian Dai. Chasing Bull also saw Ning Cheng and no longer cared about hiding within the defensive array formation. It immediately rushed out and shouted in a hoarse voice, "Master, you have to leave. Your bull almost died in this group of people's hands. A group of Celestial River Kings ganged up on me. In order to protect Cheng Rulan's materials, I ended up seriously injured. Master, you have to avenge me." Chasing Bull spoke in a sad tone, with snot and tears flowing down its face. The people on the side felt speechless. A group of Celestial River Kings against you? Wasn't that a bit too exaggerated? You couldn't even take a punch from Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, and only managed to survive because of the defensive array. With such skill, was it worth a group of Celestial River Kings to beat you up? Besides, there wasn't a group of Celestial River Kings here, only Orchid Burrow King and named descendant Celestial River King. Ning Cheng knew that Chasing Bull was talking nonsense. Therefore, he ignored Chasing Bull and looked at Orchid Burrow Celestial River King and named descendant Celestial River King. Only the two of them had life and death cultivation, and both were at the early stage of life and death. To be honest, this level of cultivation didn't put any pressure on him. Sect Master Ning, Rulan. Luo Xian was the first to call out in surprise. Sect Master. Zhang Qian also felt surprised. He didn't expect to meet Sect Master Ning here. In his heart, Ning Cheng was a god. Even Sect Master Rui Baishan couldn't compare to Sect Master Ning in his heart. Li Lingfan laughed, "Brother Ning, I didn't expect to see you here. I'll call you Sect Master Ning." Ning Cheng also saw the Luo Xian trio at the same time and came over to greet them happily. Previously, he couldn't find any acquaintances along the way. But now, apart from his little sister, he saw 3 acquaintances at once. Zhang Qian, Xian, Ling Fan, you wait with Rulan on the side. I'll have a few words with these 2 big shots who injured my companion beast the moment they arrived. Ning Cheng smiled. Ning Rulan then saw Orchid Burrow Celestial River King and named descendant Celestial River King. She didn't know Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, but she had met named descendant Celestial River King Ji Yangyao once. Moreover, she knew several people behind Ji Yangyao. Second Revenant Star's Celestial Lord Ji Yoji and the scarlet-robed female cultivator who slapped her. Big brother. After seeing these people, Ning Rulan immediately hugged Ning Cheng's hand. You can't go up, they. At this moment, Ning Rulan's eyes only had fear and panic. She couldn't find the right words to describe the fear in her heart at this time. If she were alone, it would have been fine. But her big brother was still here, and she had implicated her big brother. What should she do? What should she do? At this moment, she completely lost her mind. She couldn't understand why Ji Clan's people still came here to stop them even though she had already given up the restaurant. Even named descendant Celestial River King had come. Helian Dai also quickly came up and pulled Ning Cheng back. Big brother Ning Cheng, you can't go up. Let's apologize and leave. But then she understood. What was the use of not going up? In front of a Celestial River King, even if they were separated by tens of thousands of miles, they could still catch up and kill you at any time, let alone right in front of them. Apologize for what? Why should we apologize? Although Chasing Bull was injured just now that Ning Cheng had returned, it once again felt proud of itself. Apologize for what? Helian Dai also felt at a loss. She didn't know what to apologize for. Ning Cheng saw the fear in Helian Dai and Ning Ruolan's eyes and immediately frowned. He looked at Helian Dai and asked, "Little sister Dai, why were you so afraid just now?" Helian Dai even spoke with a sobbing tone. Big sister Ruolan was almost killed, and she came again. When Ning Cheng heard this, his murderous intent immediately gushed out. Helian Dai, who stood beside him, subconsciously shuddered. Ning Cheng quickly suppressed his murderous intent and asked in a deep voice, "What's going on? Tell me." "That red-robed one. She came again. The last time she slapped Big Sister Ruolan, she almost killed Big Sister Ruolan." Before Helian Dai could finish her words, Ning Cheng had already disappeared. Even named descendant Celestial River King Ji Yangyao couldn't stop Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng raised his hand and grabbed the red-robed female cultivator. "Put down Honglu." Ji Yangyao roared in anger, and his domain pressed down on Ning Cheng without any scruples. If Ji Honglu wasn't in Ning Cheng's hands, he would have already used his killing move. However, when his domain hit Ning Cheng's Celestial River domain, it didn't even cause a ripple before disappearing without a trace. Ji Yangyao felt shocked, and the anger that filled the sky disappeared in an instant. Then, he calmed down. He knew that his information was wrong. The one who was truly powerful wasn't that demonic bull, but this young man. Ning Cheng ignored Ji Yangyao and directly grabbed Ji Hongliu's neck and asked, "You wanted to kill my sister Ruolan, didn't you? Did you also hit Ruolan?" Ji Honglu felt completely stunned. She didn't expect that her grandfather, named descendant Celestial River King, and her uncle, second Revenant Star's Celestial Lord, would be here. Yet, she still ended up like a chicken, unable to resist. One had to know that she was a cultivator in Heaven's Mandate realm. If you don't want to say it, then you don't have to say it. Go to hell and say it. Ning Cheng's ice-cold killing intent invaded Ji Hongliu's consciousness. Ji Honglu shuddered and spoke with a trembling voice, "Yes, I slapped her. But she walked away quickly, so I didn't kill her." In Ning Cheng's hands, she spoke out the truth for no reason at all. "Not only did you see someone else's shop, but you also wanted to kill them." Ning Cheng raised his hand and slapped Ji Hongliu's face twice before speaking in a cold voice, "I don't hit women. Usually, I kill them directly. But since you hit my sister, I'll make an exception today." Slap slap. After slapping her twice, Ning Cheng raised his hand and threw Ji Honglu away. Ji Honglu fell to the ground and immediately screamed in horror, "You crippled my foundation, you." Crippling one's foundation was equivalent to crippling one's cultivation, and one could not cultivate again. In the starry skies, if a cultivator's cultivation was crippled, or if their foundation was crippled, it was tantamount to death. Ji Honglu screamed and instantly fainted. Countless cultivators in the surroundings looked at Ning Cheng in shock. Before, they all thought that Chasing Bull was the powerful one. But now they realized that it wasn't the demonic bull, but the master of the demonic bull. In front of a Celestial River King, Ning Cheng easily crippled Ji Honglu. This showed that this person's strength was no worse than any Celestial River King. Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's eyes also showed extreme shock. He recognized Ning Cheng the moment he saw him. Moreover, he also knew that this cultivator's friend had abducted his concubine. But before he could do anything, things had already changed. The little cultivator from back then had grown to such a terrifying level, which was simply appalling. Big brother. Ning Ruolin, who was still panicking, finally understood that her big brother Ning Cheng had already become a powerhouse. Moreover, he wasn't any weaker than a celestial river king. At this moment, nothing could replace the joy and surprise in her heart. She trembled with excitement. Her big brother really was the most powerful. No matter where he was, no matter what space-time it was, no one could change this fact. Ruolin, sect master, has always been the most powerful. Luo Xian felt Ning Ruolin's excitement and reached out to grab Ning Ruolin. She also felt shocked in her heart. It seemed that Ning Cheng was the most powerful no matter where he was. Yes, sect master is the most powerful. Zhang Qian didn't feel surprised. Chapter 720. Who the hell are you? Ji Yangyao didn't look at Ji Honglu, whose cultivation had been crippled by Ning Cheng. Instead, he stared at Ning Cheng with a cold gaze. Ning Cheng had such a powerful cultivation in the Tao of Arrays and could even cripple Ji Honglu under his nose. How could he be a nobody with such skills? If it wasn't a possession, then he must be a powerhouse from another grand starry sky. Bah, do you think you deserve to ask who my master is? When this old bull followed my master to the leveled Heart Emperor Mountain, I didn't even know where you were. Do you know about the leveled Heart Emperor Mountain? It's the territory of Heavenly Emperor Chuan Xinlo. Do you know about Striking Order Heavenly Emperor? Even he had to call my master brother Ning. Do you know about Guosan Gan? My master said that he would kill his way to the endless void docks in the future, but he didn't even dare to fart. Chasing Bull once again spoke with pride. Although it hadn't stayed in the leveled Heart Emperor Mountain for more than an hour, it had already spoken about it several times. Ji Yangyao felt shocked when he heard Chasing Bull's words. He didn't know if Chasing Bull was telling the truth or not. If this demonic bull was telling the truth, then he, Ji Yangyao, really didn't have the qualifications to ask about Ning Cheng. Whether it was true or not, he already felt some regret in his heart. He seemed to have indulged the people of Ji clan too much in the past. Ning Cheng ignored Ji Yangyao and looked at Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, who had shocked eyes, and spoke with a calm voice, "Orchid Burrow King, long time no see. You should still remember me, right?" Orchid Burrow Celestial River King no longer dared to act as arrogantly as when he first arrived. He cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng and spoke, "Yes, I do know you. If I remember correctly, you should be from my Orchid Burrow Celestial River. Your name is Ning Cheng." Ning Cheng nodded, "You have a good memory. I used your name in Orchid Burrow Celestial River's revolving Jade City. So, I won't argue with you about you injuring my companion beast today. When the time comes, you can just compensate me with some things. As for Lu Yu, she helped me find my sister, so I decided to protect her. In fact, you should know that you fell into someone's trap. That's why you came here to oppose me." While speaking, Ning Cheng's powerful Celestial River domain suppressed it, shattering the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's domain. Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's expressions suddenly changed. With such a powerful imposing aura, he felt sure that he was not Ning Cheng's opponent. Only an Eternal Realm expert could crush his domain so easily. "Many thanks, Brother Ning." Orchid Burrow Celestial River King understood that named descendant Celestial River King had used him. Previously, he didn't care about the backing behind Lu Yu. Therefore, it wasn't surprising that he ended up being used. But now that he knew that Ning Cheng was so powerful and came from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River, his mindset had completely changed. Ning Cheng spoke in a light voice, the reason why I did not kill you is because you are not a bad person. Although you forced Lu Yu out of the Orchid Burrow Celestial River and forced Xian Yu to become your woman, it was all because of your incompetence. A woman who doesn't like you and even left with someone else, yet you're still reluctant to let her go. Speaking till here, Ning Cheng shook his head. To be honest, he felt some sympathy for this Orchid Burrow Celestial River King. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King had not done anything bad, it was just that his methods of picking up girls were truly disgusting. He only knew how to use force. With his status as the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, if he really wanted to woo the Xian Yu, he could have done it through other means, there was no need to use force at all. In fact, Orchid Burrow Celestial River King truly had nothing to say about Xian Yu. It could be said that he was afraid that she would fall if he held her in his hands, and afraid that she would melt if he held her in his mouth. Even so, his woman still ran away with another man. Even if Jing Wuming was his brother, he still did not like women like Xian Yu, let alone kill the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King for the sake of the Xian Yu sisters. In any case, Ning Cheng was indebted to the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King. Although it was not a deliberate act, Ning Cheng still remembered it. Of course, if the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King did not feel grateful, he could not do anything about it. Go back and manage your galaxy. Focus your energy on proper business. There are plenty of fish in the sea, so why should I have a one-sided love for a flower? Xian Yu and Jing Wuming are both my friends, so you don't have to pursue this matter. If it's yours, it's yours. If it's not yours, it doesn't matter how strong you are. I can talk to you here because you didn't push things too far. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the time to talk to you. Shang Mao Celestial River King is a good example. He snatched my friend's things and used all kinds of means to get it back. So I killed him. Ning Cheng's words were like a huge drum that slammed into the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's head. Did Ning Cheng kill Shang Mao Celestial River King? Immediately, he thought of all the boring things he had done over the years. To travel through the starry skies for two women, it was simply putting the cart before the horse. Didn't he do this because Xian Yu and Lu Yu had no backing and could suppress them at will? But now with the addition of Ning Cheng, he suddenly realized his own stupidity. To say that he was crazy was not an exaggeration. Brother Orchid Burrow, don't listen to his nonsense. He doesn't dare to face the two of us together. Ji Yangyao shouted from the side. Ning Cheng didn't even bother to speak. He really didn't care about the two of them joining forces. Orchid Burrow Celestial River King ignored Ji Yangyao and bowed to Ning Cheng with cupped fists. Many thanks for Brother Ning's reminder. Orchid Burrow Yanlang will take his leave. I'll be waiting for Brother Ning's arrival in the revolving Jade City. When Ning Cheng heard Orchid Burrow Celestial River King say the words revolving Jade City, without any hesitation, he understood that he had truly understood. A dignified Celestial River King, looking for a woman who had eloped with someone else, was simply a moron. After Orchid Burrow Celestial River King finished this sentence, he deliberately sent a storage ring to Chasing Bull before bringing out a flight-type weapon. In a flash, he rushed into the void and disappeared without a trace. Failing to persuade Orchid Burrow Celestial River King to help him deal with Ning Cheng, Ji Yangyao's expression turned ugly. Although he hadn't started yet, he already suspected that he might not be Ning Cheng's opponent. You pay 100 million purple coins and then withdraw from Second Revenant Star, and this matter will end here. Named Descendant Celestial River King stared at Ning Cheng and spoke in a cold voice. Although he feared Ning Cheng, named Descendant Celestial River King could not show weakness here. Once he showed weakness, he would no longer have any prestige in named Descendant Celestial River. In any case, striking order Heavenly Emperor would not let a weak cultivator take control of a celestial river. Moreover, the 100 million purple coins he spoke of was equivalent to nothing. For an expert with Ning Cheng's cultivation, 100 million purple coins was nothing. If not for so many cultivators watching from the sidelines, he would have taken out something to give to Ning Cheng instead of showing weakness like Orchid Burrow Celestial River King. Ning Cheng sneered, Ji Yangyao, I think you're still dreaming. Let me tell you, Second Revenant Star will no longer exist from now on. This place will be called Jiangzhou Star from now on. As for named Descendant Celestial River, you don't deserve it. After saying that, Ning Cheng didn't bother with any more nonsense and brought out his Nirvana Spear. The Nirvana Spear swept through the surrounding space and shot towards Ji Yangyao. His Celestial River domain even suppressed it with a crushing momentum. Against a cultivator in the life and death realm, Ning Cheng didn't plan to use any ruthless moves. The surrounding domain started to shatter, and Ji Yangyao could no longer avoid this battle. No matter who it was, anyone who wanted to snatch his planet and Celestial River would have to die. At the same time that Ning Cheng brought out his Nirvana Spear, a grey wind axe chopped out. This was his weapon, the Void-Breaking Axe. As soon as the Void-Breaking Axe came out, it transformed into axe shadows one after another. The powerful axe intent vortex and Ning Cheng's spear shadows collided, causing loud explosions to fill the sky. The surrounding cultivators quickly retreated. Once they got caught up in this kind of battle, not even their bones would remain. Fortunately, Ning Cheng knew that Second Revenant Star would become his planet in the future. Therefore, when he fought against Ji Yangyao, he suppressed the surrounding domain to prevent the celestial essence explosion from spreading too far. Boom boom boom. The axe intent stimulated the originally traceless spear shadows, which contained the killing intent of the traceless spear shadows. No wonder you can become the Celestial River King of a Celestial River. You do have some skills. Since you use an axe, then take a look at my axe. Ning Cheng ignored the Nirvana Spear and punched out. His fist also formed an axe intent. This was Ning Cheng's killing move in the true cultivation world when he didn't have an axe. But now he used it to deal with an early-stage life and death powerhouse. Axe intent. Ji Yangyao exclaimed. He didn't expect that someone could condense such a powerful axe intent with just a fist. The fist shadows condensed into an axe intent and collided with Ji Yangyao's void-breaking axe, causing the axe shadows to explode in the sky. Bang bang bang. As the axe shadows collided, the surrounding space turned even more turbulent. Ji Yangyao's heart suddenly sank. He felt sure that Ning Cheng hadn't used his full strength, while he had gone all out. Ji Yoji and Ji Bison, who watched the battle from behind, both had heaven-seated cultivations. Naturally, they could see Ji Yangyao's situation. The two rushed up almost at the same time and simultaneously brought out their weapons to attack Ning Cheng. 3 against 1, the surrounding cultivators felt a bit contemptuous, but no one dared to speak up at this time. This kind of earth-shattering battle was not something they could see in normal times. Fall back, let's go. Ji Yangyao was ready to activate his spirit technique, but he didn't expect Ji Yoji and Ji Bison to come up at this time. He knew very well that even if Ji Yoji and Ji Bison joined forces, they still wouldn't be Ning Cheng's opponents. Ning Cheng showed no fear. His axe fist still raged, while his Nirvana Spear once again drew out a traceless spear shadow. As the spear shadow passed by, the surrounding space felt like it had frozen over. It cracked open on all sides and formed a spear shadow. Ji Yuji and Ji Bison had only brought out a single move, but before they could even display their full power, Ning Cheng's domain suppressed them. The two of them could only watch as the spear traces streaked across their bodies. In just one move, Ji Bison and Ji Yoji rushed up, but Ning Cheng killed them with just one move. Ji Yangyao, on seeing Ji Bison and Ji Yoji killed, suddenly burst out with a horrifying aura. His entire body seemed to have turned illusory. You won't have a chance. Ning Cheng spoke with a calm tone. Ji Yangyao wanted to stimulate his potential and bring out a grand spirit technique, but under the suppression of his domain, Ning Cheng would never give Ji Yangyao this opportunity. Ning Cheng's voice had just fallen when an even more terrifying explosion erupted at the place where Ji Yangyao stood. In the midst of this explosion, the entire space seemed to have disappeared. Space-related spirit technique. No, this isn't a space-related spirit technique. Ji Yangyao muttered to himself in despair. His illusory figure once again solidified before the explosion engulfed him. Chapter 721. This was not a space-related spirit technique, but a space-related spirit technique that Ning Cheng simulated using the maximal flame spirit technique. However, it was more than enough to deal with Ji Yangyao. After Ji Yangyao got caught up in the explosion of the collapsing spatial space, Ning Cheng did not give him a chance to resist, and the Nirvana spear directly killed his essence spirit. By the time the explosion of the collapsing spatial subsided, Ji Yangyao had already disappeared, leaving only a huge gully in front of everyone. In just a short time, named Descendant Celestial River King Ji Yangyao, Second Revenant Star Celestial Lord Ji Yoji, and Ji Clan's heaven-seated expert Ji Bison all died. Ji Clan's cultivators hiding in the back knew that Ji Clan was finished. A celestial bridge cultivator carefully grabbed Ji Honglu and followed the rest of Ji Clan's cultivators to sneak out of the crowd. Ning Cheng watched these people retreat but did not do anything. If Ji Yangyao hadn't wanted to kill him, he would have taken Second Revenant Star at most. But since Ji Yangyao wanted to die, he couldn't blame him for taking action. Because Rulan was fine, he didn't have any interest in killing the rest of Ji Clan. Ji Clan had done many things in named Descendant Celestial River and Second Revenant Star. Even if he didn't do anything, someone would eventually make them pay for it. Outside the ancient Shadow Temple, there were people everywhere, but no one dared to speak loudly. Everyone remained silent. This new cultivator was too powerful. He alone killed named Descendant Celestial River King Ji Yangyao and drove away Orchid Burrow Celestial River King Lilan Yanlang. Moreover, this person didn't seem to have used much strength. One could say that regardless of whether Striking Order Heavenly Emperor came back to help Ji Clan or not, named Descendant Celestial River would definitely change. Ning Cheng flew into the void and cupped his fists towards the surrounding cultivators. Everyone, from today onwards, Second Revenant Star will be renamed Jiangzhou Star. Jiangzhou Star will not be controlled by any place and will stand alone in the starry sky. Ning Cheng didn't directly rename named Descendant Celestial River because a planet was more than enough for him. He didn't have the energy to manage an entire celestial river. If he wanted to create a celestial river just to become a celestial river king, it wasn't in Ning Cheng's character. Moreover, to give Striking Order Heavenly Emperor and Chuan Xinlo some face, Ning Cheng still had some sense in this regard. He knew that in Grand Culmination Starry Sky, every celestial river was under the management of Grand Culmination Starry Sky. No matter how big the management was, it was something that could not be transcended. Now that he changed the name of Second Revenant Star and directly took out Striking Order Starry Skies, it was tantamount to breaking away from the shackles of Grand Culmination Starry Skies. If it was just a planet, then it would still be fine. But if they took away an entire celestial river, then Striking Order would definitely feel uncomfortable. He wasn't afraid of Striking Order Heavenly Emperor, but he didn't feel the need to. For Ning Cheng, what he wanted was not the power to manage the planets, but a place where he could make his own decisions. In this place, he could develop on his own and didn't have to depend on others. Previously, he didn't have the strength, but now that he had the strength, he would naturally do so. Moreover, every planet was a place where the major forces intersected with each other. Even if there were laws, they would only apply to some minor characters. For those big powers, the law was nothing but a decoration. But in his territory, he would never allow such a thing to happen. As long as one stayed in stately River Star, Starry Sky cultivators had to abide by the law, which was one of the main reasons why he wanted to get rid of the control of others. Second Revenant Star was the main star of named Descendant Celestial River. Whether it was the landscape or the starry sky's essence chi, it was far from comparable to ordinary planets. Ning Cheng's words immediately attracted a whisper. No cultivator within the starry skies didn't understand what Ning Cheng's words meant. Not subject to any local control, it was equivalent to snatching a planet from a grand starry sky. Would striking order Heavenly Emperor not care about it? Would Grand Culmination Starry Skies not care? Even if this person could kill named Descendant Celestial River King, wasn't it a bit too much? It was simply courting death. Whether Ning Cheng was courting death or not, after hearing Ning Cheng's words, the cultivators felt even more awe towards Ning Cheng. A person who didn't even care about striking order Heavenly Emperor and Grand Culmination Starry Skies, why would he care about ordinary cultivators like them? One could even say that whoever dared to provoke this person could easily destroy them. Ning Cheng knew that he would only stay in Second Revenant Star for a short period of time. Therefore, he could only suppress it with great power. After the surrounding cultivators quieted down a little, Ning Cheng continued, "Some friends may have come from other places, or some may be from Stately River Star. Because Stately River Star will be under my direct control in the future, I would like to announce a few things here." The surroundings turned silent, and everyone wanted to know what Ning Cheng was going to announce. Ning Cheng raised his voice and said, "First, Stately River Star will be closed for 2 years. It's not that you can't come to Stately River Star, but I want to use these 2 years to reorganize Stately River Star." As soon as this first statement came out, the nearby cultivators suddenly became noisy. Even if they feared Ning Cheng's power, they couldn't help but make a ruckus. Wasn't closing Stately River Star the same as closing the ancient Shadow Temple? Many cultivators came here for the ancient Shadow Temple. But now, this new Celestial Lord, who had just driven away the powerful Ji clan, wanted to do the same thing. Sure enough, as long as there were benefits, everyone would turn black. Although it was noisy, no one dared to stand up and refute Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng didn't continue to speak. He waited for these people to quiet down before explaining. He didn't intend to seal off the ancient Shadow Temple. However, since he wanted to reorganize Stately River Star, he naturally couldn't let other cultivators come to the ancient Shadow Temple. Otherwise, how could he reorganize such a complicated crowd? If he couldn't persuade these cultivators to leave Stately River Star, Ning Cheng would have to consider using force. After wandering the starry skies for many years, Ning Cheng knew that without his own foundation, he would have to look at others' faces no matter where he went. It didn't matter how high one's cultivation was. No matter how high one's cultivation was, one might be safe and sound, but what about the people around them? If he had his own planet, he would have his own territory. Would Xianghua and Luofei go to the everlasting sacred shrine? Would they look at everlasting sacred shrines seeking intelligence? Just as Ning Cheng pondered over what he should do, he heard a sharp scream coming from the entrance of the ancient Shadow Temple. Then, a few figures rushed out in a frenzy. Some of the figures had just reached the entrance when their bodies began to split apart. In just a few breaths of time, these cultivators had fallen. Some of the cultivators who had planned to enter the ancient Shadow Temple immediately froze up. What was going on? Ning Cheng frowned. He knew what was going on. The fallen cultivators had an aura around them, which was the same as the mist-like aura at the entrance of the real ancient Shadow Temple. From this, Ning Cheng could tell that someone had triggered something, and the mist-like aura had started to spread out. The mist-like aura he saw in front of the ancient Shadow Temple's entrance could indeed tear people apart. As a body-forging cultivator with a starry sky body, he could ignore this poisonous mist, but other cultivators couldn't. Cultivators kept rushing out, and cultivators kept falling. Some of the cultivators who rushed out murmured, "Poisonous mist, poisonous mist. Everyone, get out of the way. The ancient Shadow Temple has a poisonous mist. Someone must have activated it. I'm going to arrange an array formation to seal the ancient Shadow Temple." Ning Cheng immediately shouted. This poisonous mist had come at the right time. Otherwise, he might have had to use force to drive away the cultivators here. Ning Cheng's words immediately aroused the support of many cultivators. Yes, seal the entrance, hurry up and seal it. By the time Ning Cheng started arranging the array formation, not many cultivators had rushed out. 2 hours later, when Ning Cheng's grand array formation slowly shrank, not a single person could be seen. From this, Ning Cheng felt sure that the cultivators who hadn't come out had all fallen in the ancient shadow temple. After another hour, Ning Cheng finally completed the grand array sealing formation. After completely sealing off this place, the entrance to the ancient shadow temple disappeared, and this place once again became an ordinary mountain range. Some of the cultivators who hadn't fallen began to describe the thrill inside. The body-tearing poisonous mist seemed to have suddenly emerged and swept everywhere in a short time. Many cultivators with lower cultivation couldn't even react in time and ended up torn apart by the poisonous mist. Ning Cheng didn't need to mention the second poisonous mist incident in the ancient shadow temple. The reason why Jiangzhou Star had so many cultivators was because of the ancient shadow temple. Now that he couldn't enter the ancient shadow temple, it saved him a lot of trouble. Friends, if you are not from Jiangzhou Star, please leave Jiangzhou Star now. 2 years later, or maybe less than 2 years, Jiangzhou Star will open to the public again. Friends who originally lived in Jiangzhou Star, please prepare to register your identity jade card. 3 days later, all cultivators who haven't left Jiangzhou Star and don't live in Jiangzhou Star will be punished by new laws. No one doubted Ning Cheng's words. Ning Cheng even killed named descendant Celestial River King. It would be strange if he would show mercy to these ordinary cultivators. Some cultivators who came out of the ancient shadow temple didn't understand what happened and asked about it. Because of the closure of the ancient shadow temple, coupled with the drastic changes in Jiangzhou Star, even without Ning Cheng's reminder, these cultivators didn't want to stay here. One after another, flight-type weapons rushed out of Jiangzhou Star and quickly left. At the same time, news of what happened in the ancient shadow temple also spread out at the fastest speed. The originally densely packed cultivators that were rushing toward stately River Star also rushed out at this moment. Someone had come here to kill the Celestial Lord and Celestial River King, which meant that this matter had already blown up. Sooner or later, striking order Heavenly Emperor would come to settle accounts. At that time, it might even lead to a planet-destroying war. Staying in Jiangzhou Star would only be a fool. Many cultivators who originally lived in Jiangzhou Star also evacuated after receiving the news. Gongxiu Zhu, Bei Junyi Greet Sr. 2 Heaven's Mandate cultivators, who looked a little distressed, came to Ning Cheng and bowed. Ning Cheng looked at the 2 people in doubt. He had too many things to do right now. What were these 2 Heaven's Mandate cultivators doing here? Ning Rulan, Helian Dai, and the others had already arrived at Ning Cheng's side. Brother, these 2 big brothers helped me in the ancient shadow temple. If not for them, someone else would have taken away our perpetual moon pills. Helian Dai, on hearing Ning Rulan talk about the perpetual moon pills, blushed and said, "I'm sorry, big brother Ning Cheng. I didn't know that you were such a powerful senior. I even gave you the pitch-black perpetual moon pills." Chapter 722. Ning Cheng smiled and patted Helian Dai's shoulder. "Little sister Dai, I told you that the perpetual moon pills you and Rulan gave me were the best medicinal pills I have ever received. Thank you." Ning Rulan took Helian Dai's hand and spoke, "Little Dai, this brother is right. My most precious gift is still an ordinary pearl hair clip that my brother bought for me." Ning Cheng smiled softly at Helian Dai before turning to the Gongxiu Zhu duo and cupping his fists. "Many thanks for helping Rulan and Little Dai. If you 2 want to stay in stately River Star, please stay here and help me. If you don't want to stay here, then in the future, as long as you are in the right, I, Ning Cheng, will definitely help you." After saying that, Ning Qing took out 2 small jade bottles and handed them to Gongxiu Zhu and Bei Junyi. These are some small gifts to thank the two of you. Seeing that Ning Qing did not take out any Dao artifacts, nor did he take out any high-grade things, the Gongxiu Zhu duo felt a little disappointed. However, when the two of them swept their spiritual senses into the jade bottle, they were so shocked that they nearly dropped the jade bottle. They thought that they had seen wrongly. They repeatedly swept the jade bottle with their divine sense, only to find that they had not seen wrongly. Both of their jade bottles contained the same pill, the Accordance Heavenly Pill. The Accordance Heavenly Pill was a pill that could help a Heaven's Mandate Realm cultivator advance to the Heaven-seated realm. With their wealth, even if they worked hard for another 1,000 years, they still wouldn't be able to afford a single Accordance Heavenly Pill. Not to mention that they couldn't afford it. Even if they could afford it, where could they buy such a pill? For a Heaven's Mandate Realm cultivator, even the best treasure couldn't compare to an Accordance Heavenly Pill. After a long time, the two of them sobered up and quickly bowed to Ning Qing. Many thanks, Senior. We are willing to stay here and contribute a little. The two of them had been roaming the starry sky for countless years. Naturally, they were not ignorant cultivators. Ning Qing casually took out the Accordance Heavenly Pills and gave them away. From this, it could be seen that if they followed Ning Qing, they would definitely obtain many benefits in the future. This was much better than being a rogue cultivator. That's good. Once we're done here, find a place to cultivate in seclusion. After he advanced, he would come back to help out. However, I have to say the ugly words first. When the time comes, my Jiangzhou star will formulate a series of laws. If you violate the law, then even if it is you, I will not be lenient. Ning Qing nodded. Gongxiu Zhu immediately replied with a sonorous voice, Senior can rest assured. Gongxiu Zhu will abide by all the rules set by Senior. Bei Junyi will also abide by all the laws that Senior has set. If I violate them, I will kill myself before Senior can do anything. Bei Junyi naturally did not want to be left behind and quickly expressed his stance. Ning Rulan asked from the side, how come I didn't see the two elder brothers? Gongxiu Zhu's eyes showed some sadness. Ban Kong and Hua Yushan were swept away by the poisonous mist and were a step too late. Ning Qing knew that there was nothing he could do about it. As a starry sky cultivator, he could fall at any time. He turned his head and asked, Ling Fan, Zhang Qian, Zian, why are all of you here? Are you looking for Rulan? Li Ling Fan sighed, alas, cultivating in the starry skies isn't easy. The few of us have been wandering around Uncle Master Zheng without any foothold. As a loose cultivator or a starry sky wanderer, it was simply too difficult to improve. Later, when Uncle Master Zheng fell, we had nowhere to go and could only come here to look for Rulan. Ning Qing also gave out a dark sigh. Li Lingfan's qualifications were definitely not bad, but he was still only at the late-stage celestial novice realm. Moreover, they didn't have any good things. If they had anything good, they would have died a long time ago. Zhang Qian also spoke up, yes, Sect Master, we originally planned to go to other places. Because Senior Apprentice Sister Zian. Zhang Qian subconsciously stopped, seemingly feeling that it was inappropriate to continue. Luo Zian also lowered her head, feeling a little embarrassed. Li Lingfan, on the other hand, did not have many scruples. He had a somewhat informal personality, and when he became friends with Ning Qing, Ning Qing's cultivation was still low. He directly spoke up, Junior Apprentice Sister Zian is too beautiful, and has encountered danger more than once in the starry skies. Therefore, we felt that it would be better for us to hide in one place like Junior Apprentice Sister Rulan and not run around. Ning Qing looked at the uneasy Luo Zian, and in his heart completely understood what was going on. Luo Zian was not a troublemaker. Moreover, she did look very beautiful, not at all worse than Luofei. She was once the most beautiful woman in Rainbow Fall Sword Sect. Such a woman, with low cultivation, would easily attract people's attention and be taken away as a furnace. You don't have to worry about it in the future. Everyone can stay in Stately River Star. Stately River Star will become our lair. Once I reorganize Stately River Star, you won't have to worry about cultivation anymore. Ning Qing comforted her. Luo Xian looked up and asked in doubt, Sect Master, are we going to establish the Rainbow Fall Sword sect here? Ning Qing hesitated. If I didn't guess wrong, Grand Culmination Starry Sky should have a sect like Rainbow Fall Sword sect or Heavenly Tao Academy. It's just that it hasn't developed yet, so no one knows about it. Therefore, I plan to establish a new sect, and the sect's name will be Mysterious Yellow. Mysterious Yellow Sect, a good name. Li Lingfan was the first to praise. Just as Ning Qing was about to speak, a few figures rushed out of Covered Snow City, followed by many more people. Some of them even had injuries covering their bodies. By this time, most of the cultivators in the periphery of the ancient Shadow Temple had already left. Therefore, when these people rushed out of Covered Snow City, it looked extremely abrupt. Ning Qing's spiritual consciousness immediately swept out, and when he saw the chaotic Covered Snow City, he suddenly became furious. Apparently, the cultivators here knew that Stately River Star was about to change. Therefore, they started to loot and burn everywhere. Chasing Bull, take Roland and the others to the previous defensive array formation and wait. I'll go to Covered Snow City to settle down. After that, you can enter the city. If something happens, Lu Yu will immediately crush the Jade Talisman. After Ning Qing gave some instructions, his figure flashed and rushed into Covered Snow City. At this time, he felt that there were too few people around him that he could use. Although there were many people, none of them had the cultivation to stand on their own. Seeing Ning Qing rush into Covered Snow City, Gongxiu Zhu said to Bei Junyi, we have to advance quickly. Only after advancing can we help our Mysterious Yellow Sect. They completely regarded themselves as members of the Mysterious Yellow Sect. Ning Rulan watched her big brother leave. She could guess what happened and said, Big brother is going to establish a sect soon. My big brother will do some of the rough work. But establishing a sect requires all kinds of details. My big brother also said that we need all kinds of laws. Big brother Gongxiu and big brother Bei can focus on cultivation. As for us with lower cultivation, we can start setting up these details now. Ning Rulan had once set up her own company, so she had a much better understanding of management compared to most cultivators. Rulan, we'll listen to you. Whatever you say, we'll do it. Luo Xian came from Rainbow Fall Sword Sect and had a good understanding of Ning Rulan's abilities. When Ning Qing arrived at Covered Snow City, he saw nothing but smashing and looting. Rows of shops had been smashed to smithereens, and countless cultivators were scrambling for things. The evil roots of human nature could be seen at a glance. An undead cultivator killed a celestial bridge cultivator and snatched away his things, only for another undead cultivator to sneak attack him. Ning Qing stood over Covered Snow City and spoke up, all cultivators who are not from Covered Snow City, immediately withdraw from Covered Snow City. If anyone dares to smash and loot again, kill them without mercy. Although Ning Qing's voice spread throughout Covered Snow City, it only lasted for a few breaths. The cultivators who were looting still did what they wanted to do. Perhaps everyone was thinking that Covered Snow City was so big, and there were restrictions that isolated divine sense everywhere. How much could a single person see, and how much could they control? Unfortunately, these cultivators were too ignorant. Ning Qing might be in the life and death realm, but he wasn't an ordinary cultivator in the life and death realm. Even after seeing his warning, these cultivators still acted on their own, looting and looting. The anger in Ning Qing's heart ignited, and the spiritual consciousness blade lights within his starry sky sea of consciousness swept out. Under Ning Qing's spiritual consciousness, all the isolation restrictions within Covered Snow City completely shattered. The next moment, countless lightning arcs mixed with blade lights descended. Ning Cheng had never specifically cultivated lightning-attributed spirit techniques or cultivation methods. As such, his lightning arcs didn't pose much of a threat to cultivators above the heaven-seated realm. But for these ordinary cultivators, it posed a deadly threat. With his powerful starry sky sea of consciousness, as long as he reduced the intensity of the lightning arcs, his lightning arcs could spread to every corner of covered snow city. Boom boom boom. Explosions erupted in the air, and lightning arcs and blade lights fell like raindrops. Puff 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 puff. Covered Snow City's sky was filled with blood splashes, and countless screams mixed in with the blood. At this moment, the entire covered Snow City was filled with violent cultivators killed by lightning arcs, while wind blades cut through the looters. Heaven's wrath. All the cultivators froze, whether it was the looter or the looter. At this moment, everyone felt completely dumbfounded and didn't know what to do. Such large-scale lightning arcs directly killed all the looters. If it wasn't heaven's wrath, then what was it? As the lightning arcs continued to fall from the sky, none of the looters survived. But what shocked all the cultivators even more was that they found that the entire covered snow city no longer had any restrictions. Their spiritual consciousness could now sweep through the entire covered snow city. What reflected in their spiritual consciousness was that these lightning arcs weren't limited to just one area, but the entire covered snow city. Under these lightning bolts, cultivators were being blasted to death in every corner. The panicked cultivators started to kneel on the ground. Under the threat of death, no one dared to snatch anymore, and no one dared to kill unscrupulously. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath and stopped the bombardment. Standing over covered snow city, he spoke with a cold voice, "From now on, Second Revenant Star will be renamed Jiangzhou Star, and it will be my Ning Cheng's territory. All cultivators who don't belong to covered snow city should leave immediately, and those who stay will be killed without mercy." Cultivators who originally belonged to covered snow city should stay in their residences and wait for a new identity jade card. Those who continue to flee outside will also be killed without mercy. In fact, most of the cultivators in covered snow city already knew about this matter, and most of them had already left covered snow city. Now that Ning Cheng finished speaking, countless cultivators swarmed out of covered snow city. Even some cultivators who originally belonged to covered snow city didn't dare to stay. Chapter 723. An expert named Ning Cheng killed the named Descendant Celestial River King, Second Revenant Star's Celestial Lord, and taught Orchid Burrow Celestial River King a lesson. Then, he changed the name of Second Revenant Star to Jiangzhou Star and started a massacre in Jiangzhou Star's covered snow city. The news of him killing countless cultivators spread out like a gust of wind. This news quickly spread to every corner of Jiangzhou Star. In the end, it became known that Jiangzhou Star's new master was not only a starry sky powerhouse, but also a brutal one. Not only did he kill named Descendant Celestial River King and Second Revenant Star's Celestial Lord, but he also killed named River Chamber of Commerce's master, Fu Yinghe. Covered Snow City turned blood red, and all the cultivators who stayed in Covered Snow City died. At this time, Ning Cheng didn't even need to do anything. The cultivators who originally belonged to Jiangzhou Star, or those who didn't, immediately fled. Named Descendant Celestial River's main star, Jiangzhou Star, had a population of less than 100 million. Most of the cultivators had already fled Jiangzhou Star. Almost all the major cities in Jiangzhou Star emptied. Even the remaining 4 of named Descendant Celestial River's 5 major chambers of commerce, along with some major sects, forces, and clans, had all evacuated. Those who stayed in Jiangzhou Star were cultivators with nowhere to go, low cultivation, and no backing. For them, leaving Jiangzhou Star would only mean death. Therefore, it was better to stay in Jiangzhou Star. Ning Cheng felt a little speechless when he heard the news. No matter where one went, 3 people would become a tiger. However, Ning Qing didn't care about it. For him, it was better for these forces to leave, lest he had to uproot them one by one. A few days later, Ning Qing implanted the only remaining Starry Sky Essence Qi spiritual vein under Covered Snow City and arranged various array formations and restrictions outside Covered Snow City. The management of Covered Snow City was handed over to Helian Mingzhe, who had just returned. Helian Mingzhe never dreamed that a few months ago, he was still an ant that was sent flying with a slap. A few months later, he had already become a deputy city lord. As for Gongxiu Zhu and Bei Junyi, with Ning Cheng's help, they went into seclusion to break through to the heaven-seated realm. Ning Rulan, Helian Dai, and the others also knew that their cultivations weren't high enough. Therefore, after helping to perfect the new laws of Jiangzhou Star, they also began to cultivate in seclusion. As for reapplying for the identity jade cards of Jiangzhou Star's cultivators and taking control of the major cities of Jiangzhou Star, he would have to wait until Gongxiu Zhu and Bei Junyi advanced to the heaven-seated realm. Ning Qing wouldn't do these things by himself. He wanted to arrange the star-protecting Grand Array. Although Ning Qing was an array emperor who could arrange grade 8 starry sky array formations, he still couldn't arrange second revenant star-protecting Grand Array in a short time. As for going to culmination Grand Starry Sky and bringing back Jian Jiao, he could only wait. Jian Jiao knew that he had been to the shop, so he probably wouldn't wander around. If Zhou Jinkong brought Warren to the Bai Qi artifact crafting store and couldn't find him, then he would have to ask someone else. As such, he should be able to easily find him in Qing Rulan artifact crafting store. Ning Qing put all his thoughts on arranging a star-protecting Grand Array. Jiangzhou Star did not have many experts, so he needed a powerful star-protecting Grand Array. However, a star-protecting Grand Array not only required countless high-grade materials, but it also required a high standard of artifact crafting. A good star-protecting Grand Array would have a base made up of weapons. 3 months later, Ning Qing only managed to seal off Jiangzhou Star from the original star-protecting Grand Array. At this time, Gongxiu Zhu and Bei Junyi finally advanced to the heaven-seated realm under the support of Ning Cheng's continuous supply of medicinal pills. Ning Cheng asked Gongxiu Zhu to select talents from all over Jiangzhou Star according to his requirements, promulgate laws, take control of the major cities, and re-establish the identity system. As for Bei Junyi, Ning Cheng asked him to choose some people to guard Jiangzhou Star, which he temporarily sealed off. However, Ning Qing decided to leave Jiangzhou Star temporarily to upgrade his Celestial River Flame. His Celestial River Flame's grade was too low, which severely limited the speed and quality of his array formations. If he wanted to refine powerful weapons to arrange array formations, he had to upgrade his Celestial River Flame. Even if the Scarlet Crow Flame was at Nirvana Grade 3, it was still far from enough. Culmination Grand Starry Sky, Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain. Chuan Xinluo looked at the information in his hand and frowned slightly. Sitting across from him was Grand Spirit Heaven Starry Sky's premier powerhouse, Yi Jiufeng, and the premier pill Emperor Tsang Caihe, one of the 3 rogue cultivators. Brother Leveled Heart, what made you frown? Tsang Caihe saw Chuan Xinluo frowning and asked with some doubt. Chuan Xinluo sighed and said, "It's about the person we just talked about. Ning Qing. What's wrong with him?" Yi Jiufeng asked in doubt. She didn't have a bad impression of Ning Qing. On the contrary, she had a good impression of Ning Qing. She could feel that Ning Qing's attitude towards her the last time they met was quite good, even better than Chuan Xinluo. Tsang Caihe's heart tightened. To be honest, he felt a little afraid of Ning Qing. Ever since he saw Ning Cheng's peerless thunder tribulation, he had always felt a shadow in his heart. Although Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor asked him about it, he didn't say anything. He just said that he had met Ning Qing once and that Ning Qing was very powerful. After Ning Qing left here, he went to Everlasting Sacred Shrine to kill Seeking Intelligence and break the Everlasting Sacred Shrine's Everlasting Sacred Tree. Not only that, he also went to named Descendant Celestial River and killed named Descendant Celestial River King Ji Yangyao and Second Revenant Star's Celestial Lord Ji Yoji. At the same time, he announced that Second Revenant Star's name would be changed to Jiangzhou Star. From now on, Jiangzhou Star will become independent and will no longer be under anyone's control. Chuan Xinluo's tone was filled with helplessness. This was a clear provocation to him. Even if he didn't care, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor would never allow a planet under his management to become independent. At this moment, another report came from outside the door. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor Striking Order and Bright Heaven Starry Skies Heavenly Emperor Wu Hong have come to visit. Chuan Xinluo shook his head. He knew that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor must have come for this matter and said, "Please invite Striking Order Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Emperor Wu Hong in." Yi Jiufeng showed a smile and glanced at Song Caihe without speaking. Chuan Xinluo showed a smile. Dao friend Caihe is not an outsider. Junior apprentice sister Nine Phoenix, you can speak your mind. Yi Jiufeng showed another smile. I just wanted to say that this kid has quite the courage. He has the wind-seeking heavenly bull, took away the earth origin bead and the starry sky wheel, and even has the mysterious yellow origin stone. Is it because Brother Leveled Heart doesn't have an excuse to deal with him, so he wants to find an excuse for you? Chuan Xinluo didn't expect Yi Jiufeng to say this. If he had known that Yi Jiufeng would say this, he would have never let Yi Jiufeng say it. In fact, he had been thinking about how to get some benefits from Ningcheng. But he didn't invite Yi Jiufeng here for this matter. Similarly, he invited Song Caihe here to help him refine an extremely important medicinal pill. Now that Yi Jiufeng spoke out his thoughts, Chuan Xinluo showed an awkward smile and was about to speak when he suddenly remembered something. He stood up and murmured, "So it's him, I understand. Who is it, Brother Leveled Heart?" Yi Jiufeng also felt a little curious. She wanted to know who could make Chuan Xinluo so surprised. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor took the liberty to visit. I hope Heavenly Emperor can forgive me. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor and Wu Hong came over and interrupted Yi Jiufeng's question. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor Wu Hong, please come in. Chuan Xinluo quickly and politely let the two in. After Striking Order Heavenly Emperor sat down, he spoke. Presumably, Heavenly Emperor should already know what I came here for today. Chuan Xinluo nodded. Well, I just received news that Ningcheng killed named Descendant Celestial River King and renamed Second Revenant Star to Jiangzhou Star. At the same time, he also announced that Jiangzhou Star has become independent from Grand Culmination Starry Sky. Named Descendant Celestial River and Second Revenant Star both belong to Striking Order Starry Sky. What do you think about this matter? Chuan Xinluo kicked the ball to Striking Order Heavenly Emperor. Even if he wanted to take care of this matter, he had to make Striking Order owe him a favor. What's more, after knowing who Ningcheng was, his mentality had changed a little. How could Striking Order Heavenly Emperor not understand Chuan Xinluo's meaning? He pondered over it for a long time before speaking. No matter what, Striking Order Starry Sky is also a part of Grand Culmination Starry Sky. I want to hear Heavenly Emperor's opinion before making a decision. Chuan Xinluo nodded with satisfaction. In fact, although Grand Culmination Starry Sky was located above Striking Order Starry Sky, it had no control over many details. Striking Order Starry Sky's responsibility to Grand Culmination Starry Sky was only to control some cultivation resources or mystic realms. Because of this, Chuan Xinluo felt satisfied with Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's tactfulness. Chuan Xinluo also pondered over it for a while before speaking. Striking Order, you are the Heavenly Emperor of Striking Order Starry Sky. You can make the decision on this matter. No matter what decision you make, Chuan Xinluo will support you. Chuan Xinluo still left the decision to Striking Order. After understanding the two words Jiangzhou, he immediately knew who Ningcheng was. A few years ago, Ningcheng had climbed the 9x9 celestial scryer tower and even reached the 81st floor, leaving behind the honorific Jiangzhou's Wanderer. A cultivator who could climb to the 81st floor of the celestial scryer tower definitely was a powerhouse beyond this starry sky. It turned out that it was an ironclad fact. Looking at how Ning Cheng could easily kill an eternal-level powerhouse today, one could understand how true it was. From this, one could tell that Ning Cheng definitely had a big secret on him. If one couldn't kill such a person in one go, then one should never offend him. It had only been a few years, yet a cultivator who hadn't even reached the celestial bridge realm advanced to the eternal realm. It was just too terrifying. If he couldn't kill Ning Cheng in one go, then in a few years, this person would have already killed his way to the leveled Heart Emperor Mountain. Ning Cheng had the starry sky wheel, so if he didn't completely lock him down, it would be difficult for him to kill him in one go. Chuan Xinluo did not dare to take this risk. As long as Striking Order became angry, he could reap benefits from it. Even if Ning Cheng escaped, the main culprit would still be Striking Order, not Chuan Xinluo. Many thanks, Heavenly Emperor. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor quickly stood up and thanked him before speaking. Ji Yangyao had gone too far in named Descendant Celestial River, which I already didn't like. Now that Brother Ning killed Ji Yangyao, it's only right to replace him. Besides, Brother Ning also considered my feelings and only took second Revenant Star. Plus, since Brother Ning came out of my Striking Order Starry Sky, I wanted to give second Revenant Star to Brother Ning. This time, I came here to report this matter to Heavenly Emperor, and also to ask for Heavenly Emperor's resignation. I want to go back and help Brother Ning. Chuan Xinluo suddenly froze. This wasn't the script he wanted, right? Why did this Ning Cheng snatch a main star from Striking Order, and why did Striking Order look so happy? Ning Cheng said that he wanted to take it away, not just become a celestial lord. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.